We're live.
Roll tape.
You know, Brian.
Oh God.
You know what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful for your commitment to non-clickbait thumbnails and how much work you usually put into them.
But AJ,
and I gotta say about this one, I love the turkeys. The turkeys are adorable,
and they're also
but
copyrighted. I'm totally gonna get in trouble for using those.
Everything else in this thumbnail is the most god-awful clickbait, basic bitch looking shit I've ever seen.
Wow, basic bitch.
You know what they say about basic bitches? It takes one to know one. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Let's cue the cat.
This is how we get the Thanksgiving episode started.
This is like a regular
gobble,
family
gobble.
affair.
Takes one to know one.
What's up, dude? Jessica Peach, Laura G. Gamer, Hibney the Game Cat, our new scooper, Warren Gore, the goriest Game Cat.
Ooh, yeah. Gory.
Wink Rogers the Game Cat, Andrew Bailey. Who else we got? Ryan Guy 6789, Guy Son fist bump to you. Steve IRE, hello, greetings to Ireland. Says save the turkeys. Battle mode, Bainbridge, what is up? Be the Game Cat. Donatello the Scientist, Game Cat, pass me a ninja slice. Delirium Drew VR, hello, good sir. Trusty Mods in the house. Genetic, Blasphemy, Nick Mulo. Decepticon, oh yeah. Woody the Bluebird, Unmasked, hello, back to you, sir. Loggy _Doc, L9.
I love when you find one name that you can't read off quickly, and you just stop everything to be like,
we've got a crewmate engineer here. Gumballs Game Room, what's up, Ken? Googly's Evil.
If we don't get a basic bitch game cat after this episode, I'll be very disappointed.
Carlos Hack the Game Cat, just got lit that Game Cat in the chat. Secrets of Johnny Rival, the Stray Cat, YT Caesar, Carlos Cervantes, hello. JK Game Cat, Flame Hat the Game Cat, Bailey Madison, what is up, all of you?
All right, that's quite a lot of names. Hello, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. If you're here.
Yeah, seriously.
And if you're seeing this later, I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, I mean, with the way things are, I'm assuming that a lot of people were in the same boat that maybe the three of us are in, and weren't able to see their family, or decided to say, you know what, it's just not worth it. It's let's cancel our plans for the year. And so the fact that you guys are all here with us right now makes it extra special, man. Like, you guys are my second family, or
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of great for me too, because like,
family.
I just got a video call with my parents, but it was 40 minutes and no turkey and no stuffing, and kind of disappointing. So this is going to be like a fun little celebration with you guys. I feel like we're all here together in the same boat.
Do we have turkey and stuffing here?
No.
Oh, I'm so ready. Haven't had anything fun today to eat.
Sorry, I can get that chicken Caesar salad we talked about.
There we go. This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film live every single Thursday night, and we bring it to you live every 6 p.m. every Thursday Eastern. I don't know, man, lots of words and stuff.
That's how it works.
My name's Brian Paul from this channel right here, and the boys to my right, Dave from Dave Station VR.
I was hoping for more of a rev, but I'll take it.
Man, you want to start over?
Yeah, let's start at the beginning.
All right,
AJ, can you read those names off again?
Okay, everybody, look at the screen. I'm going to do one of those Men in Black blinks real quick. Everybody, boom. We're just going to start all over. No one's even going to know. And that guy on the right-hand side of the screen is AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground. Oh, jeez.
What's up, Brian? What's up, Dave? What's up, Game Cats? Happy Thanksgiving, happy Turkey Day, or happy Thursday to some of you who don't believe in stuff.
Thanksgiving?
Rain, shine, hurricanes. Well, maybe not hurricanes. Halloween, Thanksgiving,
moon landings.
When it's Thursday, 6 o'clock,
all
Gamescast time.
Oh my God, guys, we have a little housekeeping to get out of the way before we get this shit show on the road. Make sure you join our Discord. That's actually all of the housekeeping we really need to know. Discord link is in the description below. That's where this conversation happens 24/7. That's it, man. That's it. If you never used Discord before, don't worry, because I mean, actually, I hadn't before this whole our Discord thing. And now I'm on there like 24/7. I wake up, first thing I do, check Discord, see if Hipsy's put any news in the channel. He's doing all my work for me. Right. Excellent. I get worried when you guys don't like respond. It's just like, Did their mics go out? Are they muted? What's going on?
There's a strange energy to this show because first of all, I feel like both of us just looked at the run of show right before.
Oh, I have no idea what we're going to talk about tonight.
It's a holiday, so I feel like it's a little festive, but it's not festive. But I want to, you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely, Brody. Thank you so much for putting the Discord link in the description. It is, or in the chat. It is weird. I mean, it's like it's really strange. Like people are actually like around and stuff. Like this is not. It doesn't feel like a weekday. I didn't get any mail. I can't throw the trash down the chute. Everything is closed in my building. It's crazy.
We don't even know if we can get pizza tonight after the show. Brian, did you check?
I checked, and I can't get pizza. My pizza place is closed. I mean, rightfully so, right? Shout out to Mad Max, the Mad Game Cat, with the $5 donation. Says, "Hey, I know you guys saw my Gamecast tweet. For an intro, happy Gobble Gobble Day." Yeah, check Twitter if you haven't seen that already. It was confusing. I was confused. I didn't know if somebody had overdubbed something. And then I realized what I was watching, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is really funny." They're not saying what I think they're saying, but then they are. So check Twitter. You know what? Why am I even talking anymore? Thank you so much for the donation, man. We really appreciate it.
Here's one thing that I love too from Delirium Drew in the chat says, "Holiday Gamescast, no rules," and that's the way we're playing it today. So no rules. He's got the gist of it.
That's right. That's right, guys. We actually have surprisingly a lot to talk about this week. So hopefully the tryptophan isn't knocking anyone on their side. Hopefully you're all ready to do this. Hopefully you got some coffee brewed and you get the energy going here, because we have a ton of news to talk about. Obviously, we're going to talk about PlayStation 5, PSVR 2, a bunch of new games, updates, all sorts of things like that. But first, I think we should start the show the way we begin every show, with a little game of should we or shouldn't we. We're going to put 60 seconds up with the clock and counter. The way Jeremy likes it, boom, it's our time down here. Tell you out there, little Gamecats, whether you should or should not be playing and or watching and or doing the things that we've been playing and or watching and or doing. Who would like to go first?
AJ wants to go first.
You guys are absolutely killing me today.
We're not helping you out here today. I'm sorry.
When you said, "Oh, I don't know who I'm talking to," I was actually figuring out my should we, shouldn't we, because I didn't have that prepared. But now I do.
Excellent. On your mark. Get Dez. Go. So,
I've been still to this day testing so many VR games on the PS5. We've come across a couple that didn't work, actually, like Preda, Vendetta Rising, but
that's not a huge surprise.
Not a huge surprise. But one game I did try out was Headmaster. This is a game that Brian and I always joke around about. I've always thought it was a good game, but it never really grabbed me. And I have been having fun. I was just playing it for testing purposes, and I started having a lot of fun with it. And
so it wasn't intentional fun; it was accidental fun, right?
It was accidental fun.
But you did.
That being said, it can still be pretty frustrating because the controls and stuff are weird. You have to hit a ball with your head, and it's really tough. But it is still a good game. I think when it goes on sale, deep sale, it's the definite should we. It's a cool game.
Wow. It's a 2. That's crazy.
It's a 2. It's a solid 2.
I love it. Dave, you want to go next, or do you want me to go next?
Sure. Yeah, I can go next.
All right.
Mine is... I'll wait for the timer.
Get Dez. Go.
All right. So I don't know if I've brought up big screen in the past, but I've been doing a lot of big screen lately, especially these days when you can't really hang out with people in person that much. Big screen has been a really great thing, and I can't wait for it to be on PSVR because we've been renting movies, and we watched Ghost in the Shell 3D, which is by no means a great film, but in 3D in big screen with the quality that, if you rent a ticket, they give you really, really high quality streams, and the 3D just pops into your face, and it's pretty incredible stuff. So we watched that, and then we rented Indiana Jones, the original Indiana Jones, which was really fun to watch in a theater together with people.
So good.
And just it's been a great time in there. It's only a few bucks to rent one of those, but the quality is so good, and no one has to host, and it just takes all the struggles away from big screen. So I think that's what we're going to get on PSVR when we get big screen, is those rentals and free movie channels and stuff like that. So that'll be cool when we get it, hopefully at some point in the future. Fist bump to you, big screen, big thumbs up.
I have a feeling we'll get something from Sony before big screen comes to us.
Really? I don't think Sony is. I mean, Big Screen is right now positioned very well to make this work on PSVR, and I think a lot of their internal stuff they've been working on is designed to get away from people streaming copyrighted shit off of their desktop and into like free ad-supported movie channels and TV channels, and then also rentals and stuff, which is something Sony would be cool with. Whereas the initial form of Big Screen, where it was just like some guy showing you a Blu-ray he ripped for free on his DVD, his whatever. Yeah. They don't like that. So I think that's what took it so long to get here.
Shout out to Mako XL with a Canadian $2. Thank you so much for the donation, bud. He says, thanks for Final Assault. Retweet, snag the copy. That was a interesting little contest. I got to be honest, when Phaser Lock Interactive tweeted that today, I was like, oh man, I haven't shown these guys 11 in a while. I'm just going to retweet. And I didn't even read the entire thing, man. I didn't even realize it was like a giveaway. They were promoting their game. They said something about PSVR, and I was like, retweet. I'm always down when somebody's trying to like get their awesome PSVR game a little more attention. And then it took me a second to realize that I actually retweeted a contest. So awesome that you got it.
Nice.
Awesome that you got one of the giveaways. My brain doesn't start working for at least 7 hours after I wake up. It takes a little while, man. So that was.
And we're on hour 3, guys. Strap in.
I've actually been up since 9 a.m. So
wow,
I'm about to hit my stride any second now. It's been a long day.
You are.
It's been a really long day. Oh crap! I guess I'm up next. Crap! Where is the timer? There's the timer on my mark. It does go. And I want to talk a little bit about a game that I started playing when I was doing some PlayStation 5 tests. Unfortunately, I was supposed to have a third PlayStation 5 PS4 Pro comparison video go up like today, early this morning, late last night, something like that. And holy crap, man, it's like I roadblock after roadblock. But one of the games I ran into that ended up being a roadblock that I couldn't stop playing was Golem. Man, Golem is so much fun, and it's so beautiful, and it's just one of these games that like you kind of forget about how great it is, and it doesn't I don't think it sticks in your memory as well as it should, like the experience of it. But then when you get in and you're actually playing, you're like, man, like this move controller is like doing this whole sword thing, 1-to-1 movement justice, and I feel like a big hulking golem, and the combat feels really good, and especially some of the some of the more fast-paced battles, man. It's so good, and I just felt immediately was like, oh, why didn't I put this on the top 25? And that's my time. It's definitely
shame on you.
There's
shame on you, Brian.
Is there still time for you to get a box quote that says, "I feel like a big hulking golem" on the back of the back of the box? Because I would love to see that.
Yeah, I don't think so. Unfortunately,
quality game, man.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It is, and it's actually, I felt like I didn't give it enough credit in my memory, or didn't. I don't know. There's part of me that said we gave it its time in the spotlight, and now it's time to move on to other games. The recency bias wore off, but the recency bias wore off to the point where I actually forgot how good it was. I need more recency bias in my life to keep me on track.
It's hard with PSVR, man. With PSVR games, that's why I'm bringing up Headmaster, because it's not only recency bias, it's sometimes there's a game where there's a time and a place, the right time and place to play it.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a game you're just not in the mood to play, and it's this amazing experience, but you're in a bad mood or something, and you don't feel like it, and then you come back to that game months later, year later, and you're like, how is this so good? And that happens to me all the time, man. I have a good memory, and like for some reason that experience takes a long time to kind of wear off and then come back and be fresh again and realize how good we got it sometimes.
Dude, the audio visual experience in that is just fucking stellar. It reeks of AAA everything, like the soundtrack, the voice acting, the quality of the crispness of the graphics, just the feeling of an open world, and like just the level design of all of it. I was like, whoa, I'm so mad at myself. Like need to play this whole game all over again from start to finish.
So I think what we need to do before every top 25 list is this. Have you guys seen the Street Fighter movie where they create Blanca by just putting him in a chamber and showing him videos for like days and days and days? We just have to strap ourselves into a chair and just play everything in the world.
Oh, God.
And then we'll come out, electrical or something. I don't know, but we'll have great takes on stuff. We got some tips to take care of here. Ash VR with the $5 says, happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving to y'all self. Can't stay, we'll watch later. Turkey leg heart. I've never seen anyone use the turkey leg and I like it.
Dude, I'm a huge fan of turkey legs. There used to be when I lived in Tennessee. There was this gas station. God, what the fuck was it called? I wish I could remember.
Gas stations always. It was probably just a shell. Gas stations.
Turkey legs.
Gas stations in Tennessee have dope ass food,
dude. It was 24 hours. It was 24 hours. It was right near the house. So when all of us were destitute and none of us could even drive anywhere, or if we were all driving on suspended licenses or without insurance or any of that stuff, we'd be it's only like a half mile down the road. Let's just fucking risk it. We'd go 2:00 in the morning and get giant turkey legs. They'd have egg rolls and chicken wings, dude. It was just like you could get a box of food for $6 or $7, and it was just fucking decadent. And it was some of the best shit ever, man. I love Tennessee, and that's something I'll never forget. That is just.
I'm glad you had a point in your life where you lived at a place where you could trust the food from a gas station, because I've never had that experience.
There's not many, but you don't have many options in Tennessee.
I'm way too trusting. I'm way too trusting all the time. We should give a shout out, however, to Donatello, the scientist, Gamecat. Wow, $25 donation. He says, I'd like to give thanks. Oh, crap, it just went off the screen. I'd like to give thanks to Dave for his wit and commentary, AJ for his joy and metalness, Brian for his honesty and darkness in this great Gamecat community, for the great people that make it feel like family.
Thank you so much, Donatello. That was a great comment. I like that you made Brian read compliments about us out loud.
I don't usually get emotional, guys, but that one kind of cut me deep.
Thank you, man.
I just played Ghost Giant.
It was.
Toss me a ninja slice.
There we go.
Hey.
It was really nice again to wake up this morning and jump on the Discord, and it was a little quiet. People were doing their things, but I had a moment of reflection where I was just like, this really is nice, man. It's sometimes you're so in the weeds and you're like, I gotta make this video and I gotta prepare for Gamescast and I gotta write this review, and you just get totally in your head about things, and then you forget. You look up sometimes and you take a breath and you go, look what I'm surrounded by, man, and it's fucking beautiful, and you guys are all amazing. Thank you so much for being part of this community. I mean, I'm not talking to you guys. Those guys out there are amazing, right? All right. Is it time for some news?
Oh, the thing,
guys, we have a bunch to talk about. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items to talk about today. Three major updates to games and a Black Friday sale.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
We're gonna do a PSVR's Got Talent, where we give 3 thumbs up, 3 thumbs down, argue, bicker, whatever. Lots of good games on sale that we're going to tell you whether or not you should be buying this Black Friday sale. So first,
what it means is that when we talk about sales, the show will be 4 hours long, and you better strap in. We're going to be here all night, baby.
So usually at least an hour and a half. At least they split it up in 3s. They kind of spared us a little bit, because usually we do the whole thing. And luckily, it's been a wave of 3 different sales. Really good sales, though. So excited to get through those.
Yeah.
So first, as always, we're going to be starting with anything PS5 related. We have an update from gamesindustry.biz about the status of PlayStation 5s, how they're doing. And guys, it's going well. Things are going well for the most part. Aside from some scalpers, taking some of the inventory. They say, quote, the PlayStation 5 has outsold its forebear in the first 2 weeks, making it not only the biggest PlayStation launch, but the biggest console launch of all time.
Yeah, nothing like a pandemic where you have to stay in your house all day to get people to buy video game consoles.
It's a terrible thing, but
it is
less pollution, more gaming. There's always look at the bright side in some situations.
Oh, the bright side is PS5. It's great. I see why people are buying the thing.
Yeah,
I think I like it.
I mean, the bright side is really, it's like that we were so concerned about the pandemic putting people out of work, putting people in financial situations that no one wants to be in, and the fact that this is encouraging. The fact that this industry is as healthy as ever, or healthier, despite everything that's going on. So hopefully everyone out there isn't spending money when they shouldn't be. But this is great for PlayStation. This is great for the potential VR2 that we're going to talk quite a bit about. And, that's right. The first third of that, the first half of that was real. Then the last half was just exaggerated because I thought it was. Yeah.
So did you guys,
for everybody?
Did you guys expect? We heard a lot of rumors and stuff saying, they always say, "Oh, we predict this to be the biggest launch. We predict this to be this or that." Did you guys actually expect this to be as colossal of a launch as it is so far proving to be?
I think so, because it's a clear leap forward in the technology, like the loading times, the graphics. Like, it's clearly, if you're into flat games, especially for now, at least, VR will get the benefits later, but for now, if that's what you're into, it's a super upgrade. It's really nice. And I think, I mean, the price was so nice for the digital, especially, that I'm not surprised at all that they sold 1 million of those fucking things. It makes sense.
The rumor is about 2.1, between around the 2 million range so far sold. So that is pretty good. But I know some people are still trying to get their PS5s out there. This is one important part why you should join our Discord. We have a restock check tab in there, and I posted some stuff yesterday. Thank you to everyone else who's been posting stuff in there and just keeping the communication open. We did have a few Gamecats and a couple friends of mine that were able to grab some PS5s yesterday. There was some that went on sale, so just big shout out to you guys all doing this. But they did say, from Jim Ryan here, quote, "Demand for PS5 is unprecedented. So he wanted to confirm that more PS5 inventory will be coming to retailers before the end of the year. Please stay in touch with your local retailers." So more stock on the way.
You said some people haven't gotten their PlayStation 5s yet. I think
a lot of people.
Right. I think some people have gotten them. Most people have not secured a pre-order yet or an order. So I mean, True. Good luck to everybody, man. Keep an eye on everything. We just always say join the Discord. We say follow Wario64 on Twitter. He seems to have the inside information all the time about pre-orders and stuff like that. That's fantastic, But I said this on Twitter, and I want to kind of double down on it. Don't give in to scalpers. The only way scalpers win is if you give them your money. And if they're selling $1,600 PlayStation 5s, I mean, they're going to keep doing that as long as you keep giving them your money. I know you want a PlayStation 5.
You'll get something better. The longer you wait for PS5, the better it's going to be. Let's put it that way. So it's not worth paying the $1,600, whatever the ridiculous prices they're charging.
Yeah. One thing I'll say that's interesting about this launch, I mean, I know they sold a zillion of them, but it's different because it used to be you'd have to wait in line outside a store, and there'd be people in chairs sitting there from 3 a.m. 2 days before. And now you can use a bot to be a scalper, which makes things a lot more unfair for people, I think, because there are people out there who have bad intentions and set up bots to refresh and buy and then flip them. And it's hard because you can get in line in front of a store, in front of somebody, if you get there at the right time, but online there's no real guarantee that you're going to be able to get through that. And the sites crash, you refresh 1 million times and you get nothing. It's kind of frustrating the way that you have to try to get one at this point in time.
It's super frustrating.
Brickseek, you'd see if there was one in stock, you'd run down to the local Walmart. Oh, do you guys still have it or whatever? That sort of stuff.
I've just basically been just keeping my eye, like you said, on Twitter stuff. Wario64 is a great source, and you just have to be ready within minutes to check out. You have literally minutes until it's gone, but you can do it. Hopefully, them restocking will help out. And like I said, just another reason to join the Discord. In other news, the PS Plus collection is something that has gone live with the launch of the PlayStation 5. And we got some cool tips and tricks for this. The most significant part about this is that a VR game is on there, guys. And not just any VR game.
The best PlayStation VR game ever made. Number one on every single list. Ah, damn it. I was hoping that you guys would just forget.
7. Resident Evil 7 is available. It does have the VR mode. It is just the base game. It's not the gold edition. But so you have to have a PS5 to access this. You can't do it from a PS4. You can't do it from a the app or the website or anything. But a couple cool Gamecats let me know a little tip that I will share with you guys. Now, I do not advise doing this. I do not. I actually advise against this, but maybe you know somebody with a PS5. if it's somebody that's a close friend or somebody that you absolutely trust, you do not go around being like, hey, will you do this for me?
Does anybody?
I must
right.
strongly advise against that.
Right.
But if somebody has a PS5, they can log into your account on their PS5, activate the PS Plus collection games, and then you'll be able to access them from your PS4. Again, that's kind of dangerous. Enter at your own risk.
Right.
But you get access to Resident Evil 7 VR, and you get access to like God of War. Go look at the list. There's a whole lot of other games on there. So just a cool little workaround for those interested in those games on the collection.
Yeah, and AJ knows a guy who can unlock your cable box. You get all the channels. I love your little workaround. Like, you're not supposed to be able to do this, but if you do just right. But that is cool to know, actually, that you can kind of crib off your friend if you need to.
Yeah, I know that Laura in the chat had sent me an email and said, hey, I feel like I can trust you. I've been watching you for a while. And I was like...
Oh, don't trust him.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. I was like, I've fooled you all. But and so I actually went into her account and did this for her the other day. And it was in a different language. The store was in a different language, and I was like agreeing to all sorts of terms of services because I guess in different regions you have to agree to certain things before you accept to join, add these things to your library. And so I'm just like, yeah, I'm sure she's fine about this. I'm just accepting terms of services left and right. And it was, it was sort of a slow process. Sometimes it would load really fast and sometimes it wouldn't. But it is really cool to know that like, if you're getting a PlayStation 5 eventually, or if you have zero plans to get a PlayStation 5, that this is a workaround that like, you can just automatically, it's like, these are all PlayStation 4 games. And so they're just going to show up in your library on your current PlayStation 4. And that's amazing. So it's a bunch of free games. If you're already paying for Plus.
If you have Plus, yeah.
Right. You might as well take full advantage of it, whether you're getting a PlayStation 5 or not. Again, AJ put out some very serious warnings there, and I totally 100% agree with him. So just be careful who you trust.
Yeah, otherwise you're going to get your account hijacked, and you don't want that. Even if you lend it out, go change your password afterwards.
Yeah. Guys, real quick, I want to make...
Cool
Sorry, I don't want to let this tip get away from us. This is from Mick Coles. It's a 10 quid donation saying, "Hi gents, it's my birthday this week. Happy birthday, Mick Coles."
Happy birthday.
Here it's hashtag Road to 50. When does the Road to 50 start? Does Road to 50 start at like 40 or 41 or something? Like I don't. Like I'm trying to start
45.
Yeah, the back half of 40s. Yeah. So I don't know. Now I'm curious to know how old Mick Coles is.
It starts when you're born.
He goes, spreading the love as still no PS5. So he's got cash to burn. That's what he says. Did you all get your pigs in blankets this Thanksgiving 2020? Hashtag keep safe and keep smiling and love to all. Thank you so much for a donation, man. We really appreciate it. Pigs in blankets?
I want a pig in a blanket.
You know what a pig in a blanket is?
I used to have them in my school cafeteria when I was like 12.
Well, and I'm thinking about this.
They're at Thanksgiving.
I got croissants in my fridge that I haven't made, and I think I might have hot dogs. I might make myself something.
Wait a minute. This is a real Thanksgiving thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a little snack. Like usually,
there's like 100 different things you can bring to a Thanksgiving dinner. Pigs in a blanket is definitely one of them. I had a bagel and cream cheese and coffee today.
I need to refill my coffee.
Pretty bland Thanksgiving for me.
I'm making mac and cheese when this is over.
I'm making mac and cheese too.
Nice.
Maybe we can call each other, make mac and cheese on the phone together.
My mom,
all three of us. Anybody else? I'll give you Brian's phone number. You can join us.
No, I don't think that's happening. No, pigs in a blanket. That's so crazy.
After this is we just eat mac and cheese together on stream for whoever's the patron.
That's insane.
So this brings us to our third PS5 related thing, which was actually a patent, and we have, as the title of the video suggests, we're going to have a little bit of discussion about PSVR2 and what is going on with it. Brian has done a lot of research today, and
I told them I did. Let's see if I can pull this one off
and got together some things. But anyways, so this stems from a patent that was we've now seen from Let's Go Digital, and it is a Sony PS5 VR headset with haptic feedback. This comes via Let's go digital once again. And it says, earlier this month, Sony released the highly anticipated PlayStation 5 with PS5 Digital Edition. A new PlayStation VR headset will take a while. In the meantime, Sony has made the PS5 compatible with the existing PSVR headset by the PS4 by requesting the free adapter. You can use blah, 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 blah. Anyways, what this patent trademarks, and this is a patent, so this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make it into the final build, although we first saw a patent similar to this like months and months back, where it said that there was going to be something on the HMD that was something possibly haptic related, vibration related, and it was designed to help combat motion sickness. So this is exactly what that is. It is a haptics device function. And, for something, I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. And overall, just let's talk about PSVR2 a little bit, where we think it's at.
Well, I guess we'll start with this patent, right? And this patent is,
right.
Adding haptics to a headset is one of those things that I think in theory sounds horrible. It's like, why do I want anything happening up here at all other than vision and sound? It's like, everything else, any other reaction should be in a vest or in a glove in my controllers or something, right? I don't know if I want anything shocking my head. If I get shot in the head, I don't want to feel it. I don't think so. But I think once you get into it, and you go, oh man, that is actually really impactful, and it works very well, and it doesn't give me a headache like I think it will. So I think once you try it, it could be a different story. But I like that it's in the headset and not some separate peripheral thing, because I don't want to be wearing a vest. I don't want to be putting on this extra stuff.
I don't care about the sneakers. Look, I'm sorry, guys. I know there's a lot of enthusiasts out there. I'm not into the sneakers. I'm not into the human hamster wheels, the treadmills and stuff. I'm not into that stuff. I'm sorry. I think the vest is okay. The vest is okay, but that's still not something I have any interest in messing with. This being built into it, however, I do think is cool. And the first time I thought about something like this, Brian, was actually after using the DualSense. And after using the DualSense to play Astro's Playroom, I was playing VR, and I actually said to myself, man, it would be cool if this actually vibrated a little bit or something. And I actually saw how it could work even days before this patent even dropped. And I think it could work really well in terms of adding immersion. It's a very small feature. It should be a very, very small thing. You don't base a game around a feature like this. But I still think it could be cool if implemented well.
I guess we were just talking about Headmaster. Brian, think about this, for instance, as a possible implementation. Like when you connect with the ball, there's not a big vibration, but something that actually tries to make your mind think, oh, I just knocked a ball with my head in this direction. It's a little sort of a bump, something like that. That could be not too obnoxious and pretty immersive, if used properly. Right. Only if used properly.
Right. If it's in the correct place, I think that would. For a game specific like Headmaster, holy crap, man! I can't think of a ton of games off the top of my head that I'm really super interested in this working with. But for a game like Headmaster to actually feel that, to actually go, oh yeah, hit right here, and it actually bounced off in the correct way. Because so many times, you'd be like, I don't really know where that just hit on my head. So I think that could help you learn to play Headmaster better. But I think games like that are so few and far between. Do you really want to get do you want to feel that somebody gets a headshot on you?
I don't think a headshot. I think I could picture say an Astrobot, a big boss pops up out of nowhere and the whole screen's shaking and stuff. Maybe your headset shakes a little bit just to indicate I'm vibrating. Something big is going on. Maybe a Skyrim dragon moment or something, something that just sort of shakes you a little bit.
I can tell you that after playing Headmaster recently, the ball, knowing that the ball is coming at you and just kind of sitting there and feeling defeated, and the ball, like Chinese water torture, just kind of comes and hits you in the head. It comes and hits you in the head. There's no haptics there, and you already feel like you're going crazy. So it would have nothing to do with the vibration causing any weird feeling. It would just be the game design. And the only reason that it feels like that is because you're literally in a soccer prison So it feels really strange.
Trey VR in the chat says raindrops. And I think if they can, the DualSense is
Yes.
so good at little things like the
Yes.
pitter patter of Astro's feet and that kind of thing, where I could actually see if they nailed it with this headset, like in super subtle, where it actually feels like little raindrops. That is really good, Trey. That was a great one.
There's actually a level in Astro's Playroom with rain and an umbrella, and it pit pats or whatever on the controller, and it felt really good. It would, things like that exactly would make it really immersive. Wind, rain, stuff like that, just to have that extra layer of immersion. Oh, I like it, man. I like it. And again, I like this as a small feature of the headset, not like this is the reason you buy one, or like this is an entire game, but I like this as being a small part to add to the overall experience.
Yeah. And I think that's what the DualSense does so well, is that it does the subtle things very well. It does a lot of things very well, but I'm more impressed by the subtle things. And if this can replicate that, I think during this conversation I did 180. I was like, holy crap! I started off and I was like, I don't need this, But as it turns out, I'm like, I could start seeing some interesting implementations of this. This might be okay.
Right.
You guys changed my mind. Thank you.
So this brings us to a lot of other patents and stuff we've seen. Now we know, again, disclaimer, patents don't always mean that they're going to stick. However, some of the patents that we saw early in this year ended up in the PlayStation 5. And they were filed and registered like months, like less than months before release. I mean, they were awfully close to the release of the PS5. So I personally believe that this is something that we will see. I do think that this is something we will see, along with some of the other patents that we've seen. And Brian, I don't know how you want to handle this. Do you want to?
Well, I think that we will see. You and I think we'll see this. Maybe Dave thinks we'll see this. A lot of the cats think we'll see this. But there's a developer out there who maybe doesn't think we're going to see this, or has been getting pretty vocal out there about you're muted, Dave, about the lack of a PSVR2 talk from Sony, and that's Alden Dynamics, who made Waltz of the Wizard. AJ, what's the scoop on what's going down with this? You were following it pretty closely.
Yeah, so let me bring it up here. Road to VR published an article where they sat down with Alden Dynamics, and they basically spoke to. They said veteran VR studio Waltz of the Wizard pausing PSVR development until Sony addresses PS5 roadmap. So essentially, from Road to VR, they say that the studio has been working on some extra content for Waltz of the Wizard, and basically asked about it. It is Alden's CEO, Harafin Thoresen, says that today he announced the studio is pausing development of PSVR until Sony addresses its future plans for VR on PS5. Says, quote, Sony apparently isn't hellbent on keeping first-gen PSVR away from PS5, but question remains what they'll do next. I think they should do PSP VR, PS5 connection option, he said. We're holding off on further VR product updates on PS, including Natural Magic, a major upcoming expansion to Waltz of the Wizard, until Sony talks what's next. So interesting here, basically they also took to Reddit, and he just basically expressed his frustration with not knowing what's going on, saying that, we were in the room with Shuhei back in the day. And, Brian, it's kind of funny to you and I, right? Because we've known developers in the past that have kind of come to us with some similar stuff, saying, I'm frustrated. There's not going to be any PSVR support at all on PS5. And their tone has changed over the last couple of months. So to me, it just comes off as frustration, which is understandable. But also, it's like it seems like they're maybe not in the know a little bit.
I think that's the number one thing.
They seem a little like, what's the word?
You want to say butthurt so bad.
I wanted to say butthurt.
I know.
So bad, dude. They seem a little fucking butthurt, to be honest. There's something that's almost like petty about the way that this is worded and stuff. And like the ideas that they have about what Sony needs to do for the PS, it's like, dude, you made one Waltz of the Wizard game. It's okay. We don't honestly need whatever your DLC is or whatever the fuck you were working on. I'm just going to say honestly, I don't think they're not doing us a great disservice by saying, hey, we're not going to give this to you. It's fine. I don't care. And they have seemingly a lot of sort of petty negative ideas about Sony, it seems like. And I don't know.
Well, they
think
talked about
look for a developer to come out and say shit like this.
It's honestly a very bad look, and they basically said that PSVR1 was outdated the second it came out, and they talked about complained about light tracking and blah blah blah. And it seems really strange for them to not say, to not be like, we're working on a new game, but we're not going to make it for PSVR until Sony tells us what's going on. They're not saying that. They're saying we're working on DLC for an existing game, and then but now we're going to bitch about light tracking. Dude, you already fucking made your game. It's like, just make the DLC. It's like you've already got it working. You figured it out. Like every single other developer on the face of the planet making a PSVR game. It's like, this just seems like an excuse for them to like put their foot down and say, we're going to take a stand. Yeah. You know, everyone listen up.
Yeah, it's a little weird because Waltz of the Wizard is not even like a full game. It's more of like an interactive thing. You interact with magic, and there's like little tiny game elements in it. But this isn't like some huge AAA took PlayStation by storm, takes everything by storm kind of deal. It was like, okay. And yeah, I mean, again, I see a little bit of both sides here. I get the frustration. You know, a lot of people are frustrated. Maybe but they're not going to budge because of you showing your frustration here. That is just not going to happen.
Well, I think they might have trouble getting in touch with their Sony contact next time they try. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's not a good luck to publicly come out like that. I think it's a bad move on their part.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to know the details about PlayStation VR 2 or the PlayStation 5 VR roadmap? It's going to be Team Asobi. It's going to be Impulse Gear, Insomniac. It's London Studios, right? It's not going to be Alden Dynamics.
Alden Dynamics is calling them up like, hey guys, what's the PSVR 2 plan? And they're like, what did you guys release again?
Delirium Drew says high-tech finger tracking game. Respect. You know, that's the thing about me. When I was reading his response on Reddit, by the way, they got accused of some crazy stuff. Reddit is so crazy, man. They were getting accused of crazy stuff on Reddit. Yeah. I know. I feel for you there, guys. But for real, you know, these guys, they like to explore. There's a lot of PC VR side developers that love to explore, well, what can we do next? What can we do? Well, you know, and for these guys, they added finger tracking to their game. When it comes to PlayStation games in our community, I mean, we typically finger tracking, hand tracking stuff, that needs to be a small part. Just like I'm talking about the haptic feedback in the thing. That like finger tracking to me is like it should be such a small feature. Like it's about as important as a vignette to me, turning a vignette on and off. Or should I say like movement speed or something. Like it is really just a nice feature to have, but it's not an entire game. Like you need to make like there needs to be a full game, and this just be a small part of it. And they seem anxious, like they want to see how they can personally stretch the next PSVR technology without even thinking about like, hey, like, you know, maybe make a big game for it or something, or make a big game for Quest or PC first. Yeah, I don't know. It's strange to me.
Yeah, no, it's really strange. You know, we kind of touched on this a little bit and said that they these are not the guys that would be in the know. Like, who would be in the know? Probably the studios that are really, really close to Sony. And the reason for that is like they're like when PlayStation VR 1 or Project Morpheus was sort of becoming a thing. You know, these Alden Dynamic guys were like, we were in the room with Shuhei and all these people saying, you know, trying to like craft this thing together. It's like, yeah, that was a way different time, right? The VR market was not competitive then. Sony wasn't like, man, we can't let these Oculus people know what we're doing. You know, it was like, oh, we're trying our own thing. We're getting this thing done. But we are in such a different environment right now. You know, PlayStation 5 was a huge, huge launch. And whatever their plans are for PlayStation VR 2, like, this is just stuff that you don't just like be like, oh, we're going to tell everybody what it is, man. It's so secretive. You know, we've heard that like just to get a look at this kind of shit, you got to go through like all these different sets of locked doors and stuff. It is very secretive, because the last thing that Sony wants to do is tell Oculus what their plans are for the future, so Oculus can pivot and make Quest 3 a wildly different thing. If you're wondering what's going on behind the scenes, just like Alden Dynamics is like, well, Sony's the only people that are going to know, and it's going to take some time for them to like kind of reveal those plans. And then
wait, so are you saying that the Alden Dynamics guys said, "Oh, we were in the room with Sony when they designed this, and we should
originally even though"?
So my big question there is, then why the fuck did it take them like 3 years to release a game as small as Waltz of the Wizard? if they were in the room when they designed the thing, shouldn't you be one of the first devs out of the gate to release something for it? Like, it doesn't even make sense that it doesn't that
completely
long.
add up. No.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's been, this is the thing though, is if you've been paying attention over the last year and a half, I want to say, they've been giving, I know, like from a public, like official, like, exploding fireworks show, they haven't been, they haven't come out with anything for PSVR2 yet, but there's been tons of conversations, tons of documentation, tons of patents, tons of things that developers, executives have said from Sony that have kind of given us an idea of what to look forward to and what to keep our eye on for PS5. And Brian, you went through today and went through a lot of that stuff. I did that recently, and I was like, there's actually a lot of stuff here. You went through today, and you were like, yeah, there is a ton of stuff.
It's so compelling. It's really funny. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm just going to be distracted if I don't do this right now. Retro demo scene with the 5 quid donation saying No Man's Sky now looks really amazing on PlayStation 5. But why, oh why, have they not supported PSVR also? Really needed. #Blorovision / Wow. Yep. I don't know, man. We will. It's No Man's Sky is like a big fucking question mark, but I think it also relates to the PlayStation VR2 question, and so hopefully we can rope that in at the end of this. But thank you so much for Retro Demo Scene for the donation. We really, really appreciate it. And sorry for derailing everything. I didn't want that to go by. I've been holding it on the screen and not looking at the chat until we took care of that. So it's so funny that like there's been all of this evidence. There's like so much evidence of PlayStation VR2 coming from all different higher up members of Sony Interactive Entertainment that work very, very closely with PlayStation stuff. But the one thing that everybody focuses on, is the Jim Ryan quote that just happened in the Wall Street Journal a couple weeks ago, saying something along the lines of like, of the future of VR, blah, 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 being a big deal in entertainment. And it got twisted and turned to the point where like, everyone was like, "Oh my God!" He said that he said that PlayStation VR 2 is not going to come out this year or next year, and we're like, "Well, 2022 at the earliest," and like, which isn't what he said at all. And in fact, this is going to be strange. Okay, so everybody, bear with me, real quick. To kick off this conversation, I want you to hear the words that he said, because so many people saw the words he said, whether it be in the Wall Street Journal or whether it be. Oh, I'm sorry. The Wall Street Journal. It was the Washington Post, right? Am I wrong on this? I apologize.
I don't know. They're both paywalled, so I can't read any of their articles anymore.
Okay, and people saw it on Reddit with the slant, and I want you guys to hear the words he said. So give me a second here and bring this up. And let me bring up the media source here real quick. Everybody listen up.
VR will represent a meaningful component of interactive entertainment. Will it be this year? No. Will it be next year? No. But will it come at some stage? We believe that yes, it will.
Okay. Does that sound at all like he's talking about PlayStation VR 2? Now that you've actually heard the words, it does not sound at all like they were talking about PlayStation VR 2. They were talking about VR as a medium, as a whole, the industry, period. And then, like when I finally listened to those words today, when coming out of his mouth, I was like, how could anyone even conceive that they're talking about PlayStation VR 2 during this conversation? I was blown away. So if you hadn't heard those words before, hopefully this opens your mind a little bit. And the funny thing is, so many people immediately took that quote and said, this is the case. This is why PSVR 2 is not coming out anytime soon. Sony's given up on PSVR. They're not committed anymore because of that one quote. But yet they've ignored all of these other quotes over the last year and a half. Literally a year and a half of I mean, are you guys ready for this? You're both muted. Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. There we
Ready.
go. Nice. All right. We're going to start off. We're going to go all the way back to April 16th, 2019. Over a year and a half ago, this is an interview with Mark Cerny in Wired. This is with Peter Rubin. Peter Rubin said, I asked him about PlayStation VR, the peripheral system that has sold more than 4 million units since 2016. Specifically, I asked if there would be a next-gen PSVR to go along with the next console. Mark Cerny says, quote, I won't go into details about our VR strategy today, beyond saying that VR is very important to us, and that the current PSVR headset is compatible with the new console, end quote. Nice and easy, right? That's a real simple one. Kind of like a nice slow pitch right over the plate. It's going to be an easy one.
I remember that one.
And knock this one out of the park, no problem. But then this is where shit hits the fan. Then very next month, May 24th, 2019, this is in an interview with the PlayStation global head of R&D. So research and design, right? Research and development, I mean. Dominic Mallinson. And this is on CNET, by the way, for Scott Stein. Scott Stein says, Mallinson admits PSVR, quote, does need to evolve. It's not quite there as a mass market proposition, end quote. A key step could be making it easier and less cord tangly. Quote, we do want it to be lighter weight and easier to put on. Less cables, less mess, end quote. Follows it up with
real quick about the less cables, lighter one.
Yeah.
I've spoken to developers that went to certain conferences that had designers there, and they actually said the same thing. They said that they were going for a very thin look. This is kind of where I got this from in the video that I made about the leaks and the information that I knew that I gathered for PSVR 2, what's going on with it. They literally told me this was like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, something like that. Probably like a year and a half ago. But they basically said that, yeah, they were going for lighter, wider field of view.
So there's somebody in the chat who I want to read their comment out. This Encore 1 2 3 4 5 blah, 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 blah,
hey, Encore.
bot named guy. This is plain corporate speak for we are out of the VR business. ... You are just unwilling to believe it. ... Hell, they don't even have. All I'm saying is this:
it's fine if you don't want to do the research and you want to believe.
Doesn't have the information. He doesn't have the perspective,
right?
And he doesn't seem to have. Well, I won't go too far. But anyways,
it's fine. It's fine. I'm not gonna criticize anybody for believing what they choose to believe. But the facts are here, and if you're just going to ignore the facts, then by all means, go forward and ignore the facts.
I'm still taking the stance of, and we'll maybe get some pizza bets by the end of this, but I'm still keeping an open mind. I'm still keeping an open mind that this could come sooner. This could come later. All I know is that I believe it's like 110% happening. I think when is kind of the question mark. But I'm seeing things, which I will put the cherry on top once you go through the rest of these articles. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there have been clear signs that they said, this is not coming at launch. This isn't happening at launch with PS5. They didn't say years later, and they also didn't say right at launch with PS5. So I knew it wasn't going to be there.
And we all knew this, and it's only because of Sony's silence that people are getting all fucking up in arms. And so, but Sony hasn't been that silent. That's what I'm trying to get across here, is that Sony has actually allowed many very important people in their company to talk very plainly about PSVR 2.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to outline here for you guys. And if you're interested in hearing it, then by all means, listen up, because I got some good shit today, man. To follow up, the more from Dominic Mallinson, he says, I think there will come a point in time in the not too distant future when you cannot launch a VR headset without eye tracking. It could have practical benefits too. Eye tracking could help reduce graphics load, make the games perform better via a technique called foveated rendering, which we're all familiar with, which could help a game console perform more like a high-end PC. It's a win-win.
I remember this now.
It's a win-win in that respect, says Mallinson. For me, it's pretty obvious technology. All right, this This the CNET article is fucking amazing, by the way. He does.
I remember this. I remember Dominic now. Now that like I just had a flashback. He's a dude with the beard. He did this on a stage in front of a bunch of people or something like that. He did this on a stage that looked like an E3 kind of stage, and said those words.
They started talking about the PlayStation Moves. He's like addressing every bit of the PlayStation VR 1
Right.
and then the upcoming headset. He says, we knew if we went back into the R&D labs and we did something brand new, we could have created something better than PlayStation Move, but it would have cost more. Mallinson says, but hints at a better solution. We do recognize that it does need to be evolved. In the future, we'll obviously replace it. And then finally, in part of the CNET article, he says, there's no reason for us to coincide it with a new console. From the point of view of the consumer, to be bombarded with many, many things. Oh, you have to buy this, you have to buy that. It's a message we don't want to send. In some ways, it's good to have a little breathing space between those things. This is what he's talking about. This is what he means about not launching it alongside the PlayStation 5. We knew it wasn't going to launch along the PlayStation 5. And here is the quote that says, it's coming, but not right away. We need to give consumers some breathing room so that they're not like forced to buy all of these things right at the same time. It's not good from a consumer standpoint. Now, before I get on,
it would have broken me because I would have had to buy it.
I know. I totally would have bought it, and I would have been paying for it forever.
Yeah.
Real quick here, I want to make sure. I feel like I missed another tip. If you guys see one that I missed, I apologize. But Mako XL with the Canadian $2 donation, thank you very much. He says, New World Order, Chemtrails, PSVR2.
That was the only one.
That was it. Okay.
Now people keep asking us if we're going to transition over to like, covering Quest and other VR headsets because they all have this mentality of like the PSVR is dead. There's nothing to talk about here. Sony's clearly pulled the plug. What are you going to do now?
Right.
But I think we ought to just switch to a conspiracies channel. I like where he's going there. Chemtrails, New World Order. Like we could just talk for hours about this stuff.
I also
been watching Ancient Aliens lately to go to sleep. We could talk about that.
So
okay, so that was the CNET article. That was a big one. I absolutely love that one. I love that Dominic Mallinson was so very, very open about this. PlayStation VR 2 is coming. It's we went back into R&D so that you're not going to be using Move controllers. Obviously, some better tracking is coming, and then obviously we're not going to launch it with the headset. It's coming after that. We need to give the consumers some space to breathe. It's great, man. This is about as clear as possible. This puts the Jim Ryan quote to shame. Where Jim Ryan is obviously again not talking about PSVR 2, and this kind of clarifies that. There was, let's see here, in Bloomberg. I don't even remember why this. Okay, so Bloomberg, Takashi Mochizuki, I apologize for butchering that name, in the February 13th article, 2020, it says Sony plans to release a new version of the PlayStation VR virtual reality headset, tentatively scheduled for after the PlayStation 5 goes on sale. Right. Now, this is interesting, right? Because this line in the article is followed by "the people said." And I was like, the people said? Who are the people? That's not a person. That's not a name. And I had to go through the whole article to figure out what they were talking about. At the very beginning of the article, Bloomberg or Takashi references the people as being, according to people with knowledge of the matter. These are inside industry professionals who are not willing to go on the record, right? These are people who, like, I'm assuming that they probably work for Sony because who else would know this information? But tentatively scheduled for after the PlayStation 5 goes on sale.
Right. I think Jim Ryan was on record himself, too, saying he didn't want to release it at the same time because it'd be too expensive.
Well, yeah, and it makes sense, too. I mean, there's people who are just like, well, Sony hasn't released it yet, so that must mean they're all throwing in the towel. And it's like, right. No. And also, if they let these, even though they're executives and high-ups in the company, if they let them just say, oh, yeah, we've definitely got a PSVR 2, we're thinking it'll come out about this time of year.
Yeah,
they get fucking fired. They're not allowed to say that.
But it's amazing how close some of these people got to actually saying that. Like they said they did everything but actually say that. And of course, the most recent one is, who was it? The interview with Hideaki Nishino, the vice president of platform planning and management. The VP of platform planning and management. I don't know how many people work in platform planning and management, but to be the VP of it means you're a pretty important person. And if you're planning a platform, like a headset launch, this is the person you want to talk to. And so this is from the AV Watch, and I think most people are familiar with this quote because it was just very recent. It was November 10th of earlier this month. Said, "I would like to expect PS5 to have a VR experience suitable for PS5. I can't comment any further, but I'd like to expect it." And then laughs, as if it's the announcement's coming soon, right?
That definitely got a lot of people excited recently.
Right. And I do want to reiterate, the Jim Ryan quote from the Washington Post says, "I just want to 100% make sure everyone hears this. I think we're more than a few minutes from the future of VR. PlayStation believes in VR, Sony believes in VR, and we definitely believe at some point in the future, VR will represent a meaningful component of interactive entertainment. Will it be this year? No. Will it be next year? No. But it will come at some stage. We believe that." To me, that means we're putting out a headset, but we are realists. We understand the market, and we understand that this is not going to explode the second we release it. It might take a couple years for those big blockbuster games to come out and really sell this thing and really push the medium forward. That's how I took it, and if you guys took it a different way, then I totally understand.
Here's the thing about that. Xbox is the competition right now. Nintendo is the main competition for the big boy table, the big stage. VR, VR got a huge push from Sony. It had an install base around 500,000 to 1 million, and then it got more and more popular. These other headsets are not providing enough competition to Sony. Even you can make fun of the hardware all you want, but until they get even close to one headset gets even close to the revenue and the amount of sales and mainstream kind of success, which of course the Quest 2 is the closest thing right now. There's stuff like the Pimax and stuff, but that's thousands of dollars and stuff. People don't want to have that. That is not a mainstream device. People want it, but they can't afford it.
Our PSVR troll in the chat is talking about his new fancy HP G2 reverb, and I've heard that actually the tracking is pretty goddamn bad on that headset.
I heard
so enjoy your new fancy toy that's apparently much better than the PSVR2 will ever be.
And that's the thing, though. They can't focus on the PSVR2 or whatever as a selling point of the console yet. They don't have to, because they already own the market share of this. Now, where it gets tricky is that it does hurt developers if this ecosystem isn't flourishing. And right now on the Quest side, I think the developers, depending on the game, the developers with the smaller indie games are doing better on the Quest side, while on PSVR, we've talked to some of our developers that say no, we are crushing it. Everybody seems to do well except for Steam. From everybody I've talked to, Steam seems to be the one place. But it's just why it's not this has to be at launch kind of thing. This is going to come after, because when Jim Ryan mentions the market, he is talking about the market, and to me, that's a bad sign for VR as a whole. I don't want to alarm anybody, but to me, that's a sign that VR as a whole needs to get better, needs to have more of a market, needs to expand to more people.
Yeah, it's not a bad sign. We are all very much aware of where VR is in terms of video games in relation to the bigger markets. We're all aware of that.
We want it to be more, for sure.
We want it to be more, but it's not a foreboding sign. It's just he's very realistic about where we are right now.
These guys recognize that it's still a developing technology. It's not something that has all of the answers, all the questions answered right now. There's still a lot of stuff developing, getting cheaper, getting more affordable, getting more consumer friendly. Wireless. I don't know how many more patents you have, but we have some other really, really significant patents that also I think are going to be stuff that we see play a role in the future of it. But I was going somewhere with that. And I definitely have more to say on that subject, but
dude, there's so many patents. I've got a video here. I collected just the 10 most recent patents I could find for PlayStation VR 2. It's obviously tons of developers or tons of people make will patents get leaked all the time for things that aren't coming out. That's what I meant to say. And but how many times do you get this many patents for something consistently over the course of like a year or two, where it's like boom, boom, PlayStation VR2, we got things, everything from eye tracking to motion sickness to new controllers to haptics. I mean, all sorts of different things that like would seem really strange to we'd get consistent patents over all this time if they were just like, oh no, we're not actually going to do this thing. You can actually see the controller that they're developing and almost like the progress that they've made with it. You can see like this almost piece of an aim that they started with, right? With like the analog stick in the middle with like all the buttons around the outside. And then they kind of like graduated over time. You can actually see like the most recent patent being this like very interesting, I keep calling it a GameCube controller because that's what it reminds me of.
It does kind of look like it. It looks beautiful though.
Right, and it looks like a finished product, and I think that I think that Sony is not interested in competing with the Quest. I don't think that they see that as competition at all because it's a mobile device. It's about as powerful as the PlayStation 3, and it's not capable of big open worlds or AAA games. That's you take this Jim Ryan quote. And that's what they're looking at. They want to push the medium forward. They want the future of VR to be these big AAA games that are like actually really crazy immersive, and that's what they're focusing on.
I think that's what people want too. That's what one thing that didn't get people in at first was saying like, oh, we need these big games. Now, of course, there was a lot of games where people invested a lot into that just didn't have the install base, and they're more expensive. They're more expensive to create VR games than they are regular games. And so you have this proven formula of flat screen games that they're going to continue to use. And they, this launch of PS5 being really successful is a great sign of them getting, having the resources they need. But they're playing this smart, man. They're playing this really, really smart, I believe. And yeah, like, if anybody wants to get mad at anybody, get mad at Microsoft for not even trying. Even Nintendo tried to do, but Microsoft is the one that is going. We're going to focus on this Netflix service style of game, game service. While they're not like, and that's what Sony is having to deal with right now. They're having to deal with Games Pass is really good. We need to deal with this. And to be honest with you, I believe Microsoft is going to get into VR in the future. The thing is, though, are they going to do it similar to how they've done some things in the past where it's kind of like too little too late, and by that time they're screwed?
I think the thing that Microsoft could really leverage is, first of all, you mentioned Game Pass, which, I mean, obviously, if you had a VR console that had like a Netflix-style service, that would be awesome for a lot of people. We'd love that. But then second of all, they've already created this whole line of headsets, Windows mixed reality, that go from low end to high end, and they all plug into a computer the same way. And so for an Xbox to have the ability for you to say, you know what, I think I'm going to upgrade to a fancier headset but keep the same console, that would be an interesting value proposition for people, I think, to bring your own whatever PC headset you have and plug it in and it just works. That would be like massive, because then you could sell people on either an entry-level, low-end $200 headset, and then maybe they start liking it, and then they buy the $700 one later or something like that. You can control, what your experience is as a consumer. So I think that'd be pretty simple for them to do if they decided to do it, but I think they just haven't decided to do it yet.
I mean, as far as PlayStation goes, man, it's like it's going to be, they've got this super powerful console that literally just launched, right? Every single person wants to buy one. If you're a hardcore gamer, you probably really want a PlayStation 5. There's the majority, at least. I'm not going to speak for the hardcore Xbox fans out there who don't want to make the jump. You love what you love. We're not going to complain. But the fact is that like if you're going to get a PlayStation 5 in almost every house, just like you had a PlayStation 4 in almost every house, then that price goes away. Like you've already spent that, right? And so now you've got this super powerful machine that's ready to power a new VR headset. And from all these patents that we've seen, it looks like the PSVR2 can totally be wireless, right? And so now you've gotten rid of the wires and you're utilizing the power of the PlayStation 5. I mean, things are going in a very good direction, and they can make a cheaper headset this way that's actually like can be priced competitively with the Quest, because now you don't have to worry about onboard storage, like a hard drive. You don't have to worry about onboard processors. Everything that's running this thing is really in the PlayStation 5 that you've already bought, or that people are going to buy very soon. Hopefully, I got my fingers crossed for all of you guys out there. I really do. And so, and so I know people are like, oh, we want a PSP, we want a portable PSP VR. And like, no, we don't. I mean, maybe some people out there do, but I don't. If you can have it wireless and stand in your living room and utilize the power of your PlayStation 5 and sell this fucking headset that's advanced for $300, then I mean, that is a win-win for everybody. I think absolutely a win-win.
I would like an interface. I would like an interface for it and everything, but that doesn't have to be a standalone kind of thing. For me personally, I've come around on wireless. I originally wasn't this like, oh, it needs to be wireless. Looking at what the market and everything says and does, they absolutely need to make it wireless. People, the majority do not. However, I am totally for the hybrid, right? Where it is wireless and we've seen the technology within the PlayStation 5. We know it has Bluetooth 5.1. We know it has Wi-Fi 6 and can use that. And a lot of people say, well, you need a router. No, if you're close to the device, if you're close enough to the PlayStation 5, you don't need a router to bounce off the headset and the PS5 connection. They can be within a certain distance. How much space do you need to have from your PlayStation to use VR? And you know, if you want to go into another room, sure, you know, and have it through the router. But I'm definitely on Team Wireless now. Looking forward to that. The battery life is my big concern. But I think anything to make it just as easy to use as possible, and that is wireless.
Yeah, and I don't think people should know when we say wireless, we don't mean standalone.
Mm-mm.
Like, I don't think the play here is to have games that you play on a standalone PSVR2 that you don't need a PS5 for. That would be a bad play. I think the way they do it is use the Wi-Fi 6, use the, you know, whatever connectivity they need, because you can already on some devices get that working with pretty low latency and stuff. And I'm sure Sony is working on that too. But with the Quest 2, I mean, the battery dies in like an hour and a half. And sometimes, you know, as much as I hate wires, I'm like, well, I'd rather keep playing and plug it in while I play. And that's what almost everybody ends up doing that I play with. It's like after 30 minutes, they're like, well, you better plug in. And so I think that people will still want the ability to have a wire because, you know, battery life.
That's what I do.
Battery life blows sometimes, and like the Quest 2 has even worse battery life than the Quest 1, actually significantly worse than the Quest 1.
Yeah, I can't have that.
So yeah, it's just, you know, nobody wants to be able to play for an hour and then have to plug it in again every time. So they got to have the option.
Right. I just think that so many people are like, VR is not there yet, right? In terms of maybe blurry graphics, or maybe that their AAA favorite games aren't coming to the platform. PSVR 2 in conjunction with PlayStation 5 can fix that. And so I don't see Sony taking a step backwards in trying to compete with Quest. Like, that's just not a market they need to get into. They 100% have this amazing console that everybody wants. So why not deliver an amazing headset that totally goes in conjunction with this?
Okay, hold on. I just saw a comment that I highly disagree with.
Oh no.
No, it's not a troll comment though. It says if they make a PSVR 2 that requires a PS5, it will need to be half the price of the Quest 2 to justify
absolutely
the missing standalone tech.
No.
That's just absolutely false, dude. And I think $300 is a perfect price for this thing. I mean, Sony might even get it cheaper than that because they're releasing PS5s for $400 without a disc drive, which is like a really goddamn good deal. But no, people, if you give them the opportunity to play Sony exclusives that are big games on a much more powerful system than the Quest offers, and you don't need a goddamn Facebook account to do it, I think people would absolutely pay $300 for PSVR 2.
And it's not going to be the same headset as the Quest 2. It's not going to be the same. We're talking about bigger lenses, wider range of vision, you know, higher resolution potentially. I mean, there's going to be like way more technology that goes into it to justify the price.
Almost undoubtedly, it will have haptic. The triggers,
Dude.
Like they'll implement the DualSense in the controllers. If they don't, they're crazy.
If the headset, that DualSense technology is so badass, and if you put that with VR, oh my god! I mean, that's why I'm excited about little patent with the haptic feedback in the headset, and then to have the adaptive triggers on the next gen controllers, to have I usually wear headphones, so like sounds and stuff coming out of the things, but you'd feel the vibrations, you'd feel the haptic feedback. If they've already got that technology, right, and seem to be able to produce controllers at a reasonable price without it like spiking, that is something I 110% expect to have.
Especially with games like Resident Evil Village and Gran Turismo 7, I keep fucking up whatever number it is. Plus, not to mention all the other. We haven't heard from any of these VR game developers in so long. We have not heard about what Impulse Gear is doing in so long. We haven't heard from a ton of Sony's first-party VR developers. So to be able to play Sony exclusives, and again, they're really going a different route. They're going for these big AAA games. It's going to justify the price immediately to be able to play these.
One of the other interesting things, so speaking of big AAA games,
yes,
following a lot of the articles and stuff, there's been some from Mr. Yamauchi from Polyphony Digital, the director for Gran Turismo. We had heard rumors from Aesthetic Gamer, who's very credible, who's always been pinpoint accurate with a lot of things, except one thing, which was VR. And he says that VR was originally supposed to be shown at the PS5 launch, but something happened and they took it out of the presentation. I actually believe, I saw somebody else mention this in the comments, I believe it was COVID related as well. I actually have, my whole prediction originally was 2021, end of 2021 for the new headset. If there was a delay, it was COVID related, is the reason we haven't seen it yet.
Can you?
However,
sorry, please go.
I still have a couple theories about, I think Resident Evil wasn't the only thing that was removed from that PS5 launch trailer. I think Gran Turismo was as well. And there is an article that popped up from PlayStation Official Magazine UK. Love this magazine. Highly recommend. And something caught my attention here. They did an article about Gran Turismo Sport and how the game has continued to be supported. Pretty much done things like go from a start of like 100 levels to like 300 levels, stuff like that. But one of the things they mentioned here is they're talking about Gran Turismo Sport and the progress it's made. And they say here, indeed, the series is in the best shape it's been since Gran Turismo 4 as we head into the PlayStation 5 generation. With GT Sport's comparatively diminutive PSVR mode, PSVR 2.0 is surely going to be showcased by Polyphony's latest title, hopefully this time across the entire game. So I thought it was interesting because PlayStation Official Magazine is pretty on point with stuff. They were the ones that leaked to me, not necessarily leaked, but they said that No Man's Sky was going to have a big update and have 32-person multiplayer. Lo and behold, a week later, they did. What's interesting about this to me, though, is that, like, I've always believed, I refuse to give up that Gran Turismo 7 and Resident Evil 8 won't have VR support because of unless there was some crazy like thing that happened. But Yamauchi has been talking about how he looks forward to in Gran Turismo 7 targeting frames per second instead of resolution. Once they hit like what they believe, he said like once they hit 4K. He doesn't want to go for 8K. He wants to go for 120 frames per second instead.
Yeah, 8K is almost pointless technology. Your eyes don't work that well, guys. I'm sorry.
And he's gone on record saying that PS5 is going to benefit Gran Turismo Sport the most, or Gran Turismo. The CPU is going to benefit VR the most. So he's talked about VR and stuff. They actually said that they did testing with the DualSense and stuff on Gran Turismo Sport before. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make here is that we're trying to speculate and figure out when we think the PSVR 2 is going to release. That is the burning question here. To me, it's not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when.
Of course.
Gran Turismo 7 is supposed to be a launch window title. So, to me, it would be weird it would be very kind of a bad thing, a bad look on Sony to not allow PS4 games to get PS5 upgrades and use the PSVR 1, to not let them have patches and stuff for PS5. People have been patching their games via PS4 patches. And then to also say, no, we're not going to release a VR headset for a couple of years. To me, they are making that line, drawing that line in the sand to me, because they are preparing for a new VR headset and PS5 games. What did that guy go on record saying a couple weeks ago? He said, we would like to expect that a VR experience for the PS5 will be up to standard with the PS5.
Expect the PS5 to have a VR experience suitable for PS5.
Suitable for PS5. So it sounds like to me, that is getting right. And I'm not saying this is anything, but I did find it interesting that this magazine that has been spot on about everything, Official PlayStation Magazine UK, is saying that PSVR 2.0 will undoubtedly be using Gran Turismo 7 to showcase it. And this is supposed to be a launch window title, not a launch title, but a launch window title, like Q1.
Yeah. I mean, this gets really hairy, right? Because if COVID was the reason that we didn't see some of these games featured, if COVID was the reason we haven't gotten a PlayStation VR 2 announcement, like how far back has COVID pushed everything? And that's sort of my initial question. However, I don't know how much it has to do with COVID. I think that Sony kind of realized, like, you know what? That first State of Play was a really big learning experience where they were like, let's not mix any messages here, man. Like, let's make sure that if we're going to do a PlayStation VR show, let's tell people this is a PlayStation VR show. And if you start, expecting all of your fans, all of the PlayStation fans, all the PlayStation owners out there to watch a PlayStation VR show unknowingly, there's going to be a little bit of a blowback, and they got a ton of blowback for that. So, do you know how much of a blowback they'd get right now if people can't even get their hands on PlayStation 5? I think they realized that there was going to be I think they've realized that a while ago that they were not going to be able to supply all the PlayStation 5s that they wanted to supply. That they were absolutely not going to be able to get as many out there as they wanted. And so for them to talk about PSVR 2 while 90% of their audience is still trying to get a PlayStation 5, can you imagine how many people would be pissed off? Can you imagine that? So many people would get so angry, being like, how can you even talk about PlayStation VR 2? Like, use those factories to produce more PlayStation 5s. That would be horrible. And so I just want to, there's an infinite number of reasons why they're not talking about it, if anyone's curious.
I don't think maybe COVID is like the number one reason, but I think COVID has a lot to do with it, because you're looking at it from even looking at the front end of things, the way they're doing presentations right now, the way that they're doing announcements. There was no celebration for PlayStation 5. There was a PlayStation blog and a commercial. There wasn't
not a good commercial.
This isn't the usual style of doing things. They had Mark Cerny with a digital audience the first go. And like that is, you're not only seeing it, but then that's just the front end of things. That's what you're seeing on the surface. You're seeing them not able to do the big, event, the big reveal stage, the big celebration in New York, releasing the consoles, showing everybody running in and getting. They're telling retailers right now, do not sell physical copies of PlayStation 5s in stores because of the pandemic. That is absolutely affecting the way they do everything right now. So I think it's good that they're playing it a little conservative during times like these. Guys, the movie industry is like suffering right now. We are so lucky that there are any video games that even exist right now. We're so lucky that a PS5 console is being launched right now. And I hope that they continue to approach with this caution and making these smart moves to get a new headset to us successfully, safely, and just an awesome headset. And when I mentioned the front end, when I'm talking about the back end, behind the scenes stuff, I'm talking about parts. getting parts, getting manufacturer, like you had mentioned, manufacturing PS5s and stuff. That's a limited, probably a limited amount of space that they have right now that they're trying to get to people. And yeah, you're right. People would be pissed if they're like, well, you don't have a PS5 because we tried to make like, right. If those things are, you're cannibalizing your own like manufacturing process doing that, taking up your storage space, trying to get this thing. So it makes, just from a regular practical standpoint, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense to give it. You don't have to wait 2-3 years, but it makes sense not to be releasing one right now at this second.
Right, and every developer that we've talked to, every game developer has talked about how difficult it has been to learn to make games from home. So you think about any of these games that were supposed to be launch window PSVR2 games or anything like that, was, obviously that gets pushed off, man. Especially when you talk about big AAA games with teams of hundreds of people, right? It's like, think of how many people are working at Polyphony Digital, working on the next Gran Turismo game, or how many people are working at Capcom, working on Resident Evil Village. Like, it's tough to coordinate 20 people working from home. Right, those are developers we've talked to. Can you imagine coordinating 200 people working on the same game from home?
And what's crazy too? I don't know if this is going to become a trend, but I think it might. Square Enix came out and made a statement saying that starting in December, permanently they will allow remote work for all employees. So like, it's not a COVID thing anymore. It's just like, hey, you guys are now used to working from home. Moving forward, Square Enix will allow people to work from home,
which is great,
permanently, which I think for the games industry could be a really big deal. Because a lot of people, like if they switch studios every couple of years, which happens a lot in the industry, you got to move from New York to LA to Seattle to like every 2 years you get uprooted. So sometimes people have gotten out of the games industry just because it's like, I can't be moving across the country every year. And that kind of eliminates that too. So you might see some longer term talent, like people will stick around longer at places or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting, man. And I think and hopefully as we move forward and Sony starts becoming more transparent about their PlayStation VR plans, we start hearing this stuff. I hope that we hear a little bit more about what happened behind the scenes and like what's been going on and what like
I doubt it.
No, but still, it'd be awesome, dude. Look at how transparent some of these other people have been talking about PlayStation VR 2. I don't expect Jim Ryan to get out there and start saying, let me tell you about how everything went down behind the scenes at Sony during COVID.
They just briefly said that we've dealt with COVID and that we've dealt with some other stuff, and they've just been like, but everything has been awesome. Because if it hurts their stock, it hurts investors for them to be honest about every little thing that went wrong. They're not like they're you're gonna have to get some inside baseball for that one. They're not going to come out and say that publicly.
Yeah,
literally hurts their business.
Maybe if Elon Musk ran Sony, he'd be spouting shit out on Twitter about what's going on behind the scenes.
Maybe.
But
the next PSVR 2 is going to be sold for $420.
So quick pizza bet, Brian. We have maybe what are the features that you expect to be for PlayStation VR 2, and what the launch window you think is looking like?
I'm way more interested in because I feel like features are going to be features. It's like I think we're going to get a decent number of them. It's not going to be a crazy, oh my god, this is ridiculous upgrade. I think it's going to be like more of a dual shock forward to dual sense upgrade. But in terms of features, and of course all the expected features we expect to get, all the the increased resolution of the screens and blah blah blah. So the two things I'm obviously most concerned about are the date and the price.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to put some solid pizza bets on the line here for each of these things. And of course, David Moore, our pizza bet record keeper, hopefully has his pen and paper.
He remembers way too much. He must be writing it down in an Excel sheet or something somewhere.
He's keeping very
track.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. So let me get this out of the way then. If you want to just bet on the price and the fee and the range or date, I can tell you from what I've heard on the inside and what I've heard from just looking at the patents, trying to put together common sense and stuff. I think it's gonna be wireless wired hybrid. I think it's gonna have at least 2K resolution. I think it might actually have 4K resolution if Blood and Truth is already releasing games at patching their game on a PS5 to run at 4K resolution, 90 frames per second. I think maybe that's what we'll see. 4K up to 4K and 90 resolution by the end of the generation. I would hope that it has that built in so it's future proofed, but I don't expect that to be a super popular thing. But it would be nice to be future proofed with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
New controllers, obviously, that we'll have the haptic feedbacks. We'll have inside out tracking. We'll have joysticks. Absolutely have joysticks. Maybe have some finger sensor stuff to be able to detect your hands.
100% finger tracking.
Finger tracking stuff. And then, I said the wireless, right? Or did I not? Wireless from Wi-Fi 6 and the Bluetooth 5.1 technology. And it's going to have HDR. That's one thing that Dominic said in his thing, the big conference that he spoke in that you referenced. He mentioned HDR. There's going to be there. Obviously, it's most likely going to have 4K pass-through, 4K and HDR pass-through at 120 hertz. It's going to have to. Maybe get rid of the breakout box, I'm thinking. Something like that. But yeah, that is the slew of features. And I think Gran Turismo 7 is going to be there. I think Resident Evil 7 is going to be there. I think maybe Hitman gets updated. Maybe No Man's Sky gets updated. And it's going to be PS5 titles with the PSVR 2. And the only other feature that I'd really like to see is a movie theater app.
Yes. So Bigscreen needs to get their ass over here ASAP, because with a better screen resolution too, if we're going to see that, which we obviously will on PSVR 2,
yes.
It'll look pretty nice, and I think people will enjoy that a lot. I don't think Sony themselves will give us one, but we'll see.
Eye tracking, Glorious Forces eye tracking. Yes, they will have. It will have eye tracking.
See, that's interesting to me. Like eye tracking, especially after just reading the quote from Dominic, I have to go. He's very confident that headsets need to have eye tracking, and so I think that's something that I will appreciate eventually. But right now I'm like, why would you even bother? But absolutely, man. I think because of Dominic's quote, you're absolutely going to see eye tracking in the next headset. Real quick shout out to Mutant Fox with the $5 donation. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We love you so much. He says, just wanted to wish all you crazy cats a happy Thanksgiving. Super excited to see what next year brings for VR. Is this the year VR goes mainstream? Unfortunately, I don't think so. Woo. But
no. Mad Max, the game cat, also with the $1.99 donation says, "F that. Any Albo news? Need my key. LOL. Witness." Albo said that within the next few weeks that they're going to start rolling out the keys again. I know it seemed like they hit a brick wall after getting that beta ready. Maybe they got a bunch of good feedback and have been working on the game and getting it ready.
Always happy to hear a developer taking a step back and really reassessing things and making sure things are ready for launch. Like they could have easily been like, okay, it's ready, let's go. They could have done like a 2-week beta and been like, it's fine, push it out the door.
Yeah. No, I would have advised against that for sure.
Right. As far as just want to say, Mutant Fox, is this the year VR goes mainstream? I'm going to agree with Jim Ryan. I'm going to say that the PSVR2 has a nice soft launch. It probably will quickly get up to PlayStation VR 1 numbers. I bet we'll see it get up to 5 million very quickly over the course of a year or so, maybe 2 years. And in other words, less than half the time, maybe a quarter of the time. And then once those AAA games, like really, really impressive one, starts coming out, I think people are going to try it and go, whoa, I need to have this. Especially, I think it's going to have like a sleek, stylish design too. I think it's not going to, no longer is it going to be like a box on your head, on your face. I think so. That's where Sony's going with this. They really want to make sure it's lightweight, thinner, more comfortable.
Absolutely.
Well, and one thing when we talk about mainstream with VR is I want to keep in mind the Wii, what happened with the Wii, right? Like for mainstream gamers, the Wii they saw it as like a joke. Like if you look at a hardcore gamer, they're like, it has no power. I hate those waggly remotes and stuff. It's for kids. But they sold so many consoles because that introduced an experience where your grandma could enjoy playing a fucking Wii. Your mom, your girlfriend, all these people in your life who don't play video games had something that was fun and magical and like just interacted the way they meant it to. No fuzzing around with controllers and what does the X button do? And it's just like they had hands and they moved them. And I think that that's what people are missing out on when they're talking about like, is it going to go mainstream? Like, it doesn't need to go mainstream with gamers, quote unquote gamers, really, to be a success. I think if the possibility is shown to enough people who are non-gamers, like the Wii crowd, that's going to sell a lot of headsets, man. Like, really, honestly. And there's a lot of short-sightedness in the gaming community where it's like, well, if it doesn't run the newest Assassin's Creed, then no one will ever like this product. And it's like, no, dude, get your head out of your ass. Like, not everything is in your bubble. So,
well, that's where I think Sony wants VR
guys,
to be.
I got to step away for 1 second. Sorry.
Okay. I think that's where Sony wants VR to be. I think that's where VR itself wants to be, is everybody in their house, every household needs one of these, wants one of these. There's a high demand for it. And that's going to be something that'll be interesting. The demand, the outlook on VR has changed a little bit from the 4 years ago.
It's getting there
when
for sure.
Everybody I knew was like, I hate VR. Why is it the devil? Why is the devil's video games getting to us? Wah, wah, wah. And then now everyone's like, please make this in VR support. Please give this VR support. Please give this VR support. Yeah. The narrative has changed greatly. Now you just get a few people here and there that are like super negative and just want to argue for no reason about it all the time. But other than that,
welcome to the internet.
Yeah. Genetic Blasphemy also with the $10 donation says, I'm calmer about PSVR2 lately. We've got pretty neat stuff coming down the PSVR pike, and we'll live and play VR longer without the anxiety. Giving thanks for all these stupendous chat streams, guys. Thank you, Genetic Blasphemy. Really I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I don't want to get too hyped too early, because I'm willing to wait for whenever it arrives. But I agree with a lot of you.
We're impatient, man. We're impatient.
I'm not impatient.
I am.
I get a little impatient, dealing with people and trying to be like, look, it's okay. Like, this is normal. Everything's going as part of the plan.
Yeah.
Just calm down.
Yeah.
Quit telling me to buy a Quest and quit telling me
right.
to buy an Xbox and stuff. It's
so
okay.
Funny.
I'm happy where I'm at.
Right. You want me to abandon Resident Evil 7? Are you kidding me? Never.
Yeah.
Immortal Legacy forever, dude.
But so this will be interesting to see what Dave says. Maybe me and you go ahead and get our bets out of the way. I say, here we go. You ready?
Was David more ready is the question.
I say an announcement, and God damn it, you've got me. You've really got me messed up on this. But I'm gonna say an announcement in February, and a release.
Yeah, we do need to go by month here. We need to specify a month, because if we start going by quarters, it's too big. So yeah, definitely a month. I like this.
I'm okay. Look, this is not necessarily what I believe, but this is the bet I'm taking.
Okay.
This is the bet I'm taking.
What? This isn't what you believe, but you're betting on it?
I'm betting on this, yes.
You've got to bet on your fest.
Because it makes more sense than what I believe.
I'm not going to tell you what to do. So please, by all means, what is your bet? You just want to win no matter what you say. You want to be like, well, I bet that, but I didn't really believe it. I lost a bet, but at least I was right.
I think announcement in February. And I think a release, I'm going to say May. All
right, so we can consider, if you get one of these two things right, it's a half a pizza bet. It's a half pizza.
Okay.
So we do got to divvy up some pizza bets here. It'll happen. So announcement in February, you're saying.
Yeah.
Release in May.
Yeah.
Okay. This is interesting.
Or April. Shit, it might be April. Could be April.
Wait. What? I don't even know which one you're trying to switch. The announcement or the release?
The release. I'm gonna change my release to April.
Okay, so announced in February.
Yes,
released
beginning
in April.
of February, released in April.
Okay.
Now, I'll be honest with you. That's what I'm betting on, because I feel like I've seen enough stuff to warrant that bet. But really, I'm thinking end of 2021 or 2022.
Oh, wait. So you're actually in your mind's eye, you're picturing the PSVR2 potentially not even being here next year. But then you're betting it to be in the first quarter.
No, again, my original thing was end of 2021.
Yeah.
Because of COVID is the only reason I think it could be longer than that. But I'm gonna go. You've convinced me and twisted my arm enough to make me think that maybe there is an earlier release coming.
I'm back. What did I miss?
Well, we're currently betting pizzas on. So there's one pizza bet is the announcement and release date. So you can win half the pizza bet or not. Announcement and release date.
Are you going to send me half a pizza, or how does that work?
We're not sending pizzas constantly. We're kind of like waiting for like these things to kind of settle down, and so
Holy fucking shit! I gotta say, what's up to AWOL Soldier VR real quick?
Oh wait, AWOL,
dude! He says it'll be out in 2022. Guys, that is the reason I ever started streaming right there.
Yeah, AWOL shouted at him until he started doing it.
Happy fucking Thanksgiving to you, dude. Love you. Miss you.
That is wild. I have not seen him in so long.
We've also got a few other tips to get out of the way here if we're going to take a quick break. Wonder Rob, I don't think we ever got Wonder Rob's tip with a $5 donation saying, I think turkeys are behind the virus. I can't prove my suspicions, but I strongly suspect foul play.
God, the puns.
Play.
The puns.
Foul play.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Rob. I think we also got Virtual Slayer Cat here with a Canadian $10 donation saying, here's a donation from my Canadian statutory holiday. I don't know what that means. You get a cut because you helped me pass time at work. What's a statutory holiday? I don't know. I mean,
it sounds
statutory.
bad.
I only bring.
It's under 18 years old.
Everyone always thinks of the same thing when statutory comes up. Yeah, you have to explain that one to us non-Canadians. And did I see? Yes, VR Grid also with the Canadian donation, $5. Thank you so much. Says, OMG, you three are so wrong. I can already taste my without parole pizzas.
Well, so I couldn't have been wrong because I wasn't here yet.
Well, hold on a second. So
take it back, Ryan.
AJ is going with. Thank you for all the donations out there, guys. We really, really appreciate you keeping this channel running. It means so much. AJ's going with February for the announcement, correct? February 2021. And April, are you sticking with April for the release date?
Fuck. Yes.
April of which year?
2021.
No.
I know, right?
I'm having a little fun here, okay?
Have some fun. You can have some fun.
I'm having some fun.
Yes.
Wait, who was that said it was Battle Mode Bainbridge said October because it's to do the anniversary release.
That would be a good way to do it. Yeah, because if
that's actually not a bad point.
The 5-year anniversary would be a nice, perfect number to release it on. October 13th, 2021. Not a bad idea on Sony's part.
So statutory means you get the day off.
Has someone already bet October 13th, 2021?
No.
That's my bet.
That's your release date.
I love it.
October 3rd. You're actually going with the date. You want to just say October, so you're a little more vague here?
October 13th.
Okay.
I will not be vague about this. Although I don't actually believe this. I just have to guess something because I know I have to.
But... I could see them releasing Gran Turismo, and so the leak was that Resident Evil 8 was going to come out in April, which is why I went with April. I could see them releasing the game though. If PSVR 2 is not ready, I could see them releasing the game and being like, "There's one more thing. This is going to have VR support in October 13th."
Right.
I could totally see them doing it like that.
I could totally see that coming. It's the exact same thing happening. Basically saying these games are coming out and possibly best experience on PlayStation VR 2, and give us a release date and say they will all be available at the launch of the new headset.
Legend Jackers in the chat says, "Is it just speculation or is there official news?" It's always speculation around here, my friend.
No, I told them that we already discussed the news. We did. We did. We're just making some pizza bets before we move on to the other news.
Yeah. We basically went and found every single piece of evidence we could find about PlayStation VR 2's existence and its features and how relatively quick we might see it. And now we're taking all that information and guessing when it could potentially be here and how much.
Brian, I want to hear your thing, man.
You can hear my
real
thing.
Quick, we got 99 cents from Darth Vader the Gamecat. Thank you, Darth Vader the Gamecat.
What's up, Darth?
No message, but I'm sure he's going or whatever out there, being himself.
Thank you for the donation, Darth Vader.
Craven Moorhead says, move on to beard shaving bets. I've got a lot more to lose in that department than anybody else, so I'm going to say no on that one.
I shave like once a week, man. And so I don't mind growing it until PlayStation VR 2. Ooh, Whoa.
Ooh.
Whoa. What if I
Is
grow
that a bet?
I mean, I might just do it for fun. What if I just I don't shave until PlayStation VR2 comes out?
That would be incredible. And we could have like a meter where it shows like how much longer it's gotten each week, and then when it finally comes out, you can like. They don't have locks of love for beards, do they? You can't cut your beard off and send it to somebody, can you?
Oh, I don't know. We could actually make something good out of this instead of just being absolutely ridiculous.
Who
like
needs
usual.
a beard? If somebody in the chat is underprivileged and needs a beard, we will shave Brian's big beard off when the PSVR 2 comes. And we'll send it right to you.
I guess we'll have to talk about this. I need to have some kind of reward. I mean, I guess the reward is to do something nice for charity. So there's that.
So a few more tips are coming in. Actually, Genetic Blasphemy with the 149, and he's got the cat, the black cat. Thank you, sir. Meow meow. And then Donatella, the Scientist Game Cat, with another tip, $10, and he says, "Here is a tip from Laura TG Gamer. She now owes me a kidney."
Oh,
that's pretty cheap. The black market kidneys are $10. Man, I should get a couple of those throw them in the fridge, and whenever I need them.
Dude, that was super sweet. See, he donated for Laura. That's amazing.
Yeah, on her behalf.
Wow, what a nice community we have, man. Everybody's so fucking...
We do have a nice community. And happy Thanksgiving once again. If you guys got here and you didn't catch our initial happy Thanksgiving, it's great to have you guys here with us, because I know all of us are sort of stranded alone this year, unless you're with your family right now, which would be great. Hopefully you can be, but pretty much the rest of us can't. So it's cool to hang out with our little family online here,
Yeah.
Hope you guys are eating turkey legs.
Turkey legs from a gas station, especially.
From a gas station. That's the perfect Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I want to know how they cook those things, man, because they were so fucking tender and awesome and wrapped in saran wrap. It was really unwrapped.
Weird.
It was very strange. Yeah, like I was like, some of this probably melted into the meat. I'm probably
I don't trust saran wrap that much.
I don't trust anything, but I'm very trusting somehow. I don't understand. I'm like I'm
final tip.
Oh yeah.
Genetic Blasphemy has got the poop emoji, and he's got 99 cents on it. Thank you again, Genetic Blasphemy.
Josh Speed says you're going to look like Gandalf by the time PSVR 2 drops in 2022.
Probably, so,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're all here speculating that's going to be like within a year. He's like, yeah, it could easily be 2 years. I'm like, anything's possible, and I could have a ton of hair on my face by then. But I don't know.
You know what I'll say? This is my COVID beard, so I'll shave it when we get a vaccine. Then I'll shave my beard.
All right.
How's that?
This is kind of craziness going on here. All right, so you have said October 13th, 2021 for the release date.
That's my guess.
What is the announcement date? Sorry for the squeaking chair. What is the announcement date of PSVR 2? When is Sony going to come out and say, you've been waiting so long, wait no longer. Here is our reveal.
Let me do a little research so I have a reasonable guess here.
All right, well, while you're doing research, I want to give a shout out to my former coworker at this little Spanish tapas restaurant I used to work at called Bocado. His name's Arlen Teodori. We used to fight all the time, but just like brothers do, brothers fight. I love you, dude. He goes, he gives us 999 donation, says gobble, gobble, gobble. I love you, but I also hate you. Thank you so much for your donation.
Oh, hey, AJ's back. Cool. So
right.
I'm trying to figure out when they announced the PS5. How far? I'm just trying to put in my mind. When did they announce?
We need to get the ball rolling here. I don't want to spend all GamesCast on this bet thing. Really?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, it's fine. We can go ahead.
Small thing, because we have a lot of news. Dirt Rally.
Wait.
We still have a lot of news. It's been almost 2 hours.
Well, no, we've got some still more PS5 stuff to go over.
All right, excellent. We'll get these bets out of the way, and then we'll move right along. So, Dave, do you need a second for the announcement?
Well, so I was going to do some research, but AJ says we got to move on. So
Okay.
I'm going to say no. I don't need to. It's fine. So I said October 13th. Maybe the announcement will be like, let's say like July 12th.
What is
3 p.m.
You don't need a date. I'm not giving you a date for that. You just July will work.
Hold on. I'm looking into the future. Let me consult my third eye. I believe 4 p.m. I was wrong about 3 p.m. July 12th. Okay. If that's right, I'm going to go crazy. Like I am actually psychic.
I am. Okay. Here's. I keep changing my months. Obviously, I don't want to be making the same bets as either of you. I want you to be a clear winner here, or at least a clear half winner for each of these. In April, I'm going to say is the announcement, right? You get all of the holiday lulls out of the way. You get everybody who wants a PlayStation 5 now has a PlayStation 5. That is out of the way. It's taken care of. Everyone owns a PlayStation 5 in April. I can see the future.
Oh, yeah,
right?
We'll see.
April is when we will get the announcement. And we will get the headset in July.
Okay. I dig it.
Yep. That's it, man. Hopefully David Moore is here taking notes.
I'm sure he's taking notes.
I haven't been keeping an eye on the...
See him comment?
Oh, man. Sean B says July 12th is a Monday. He's probably... Well, they can announce stuff on a Monday. It doesn't have to be a release date.
It's not unprecedented.
So
We've definitely seen very cool PlayStation blog posts or anything else on Mondays. We're not going to hold you to July. I will... And even if it's not October 13th when it launches, if it's in October, you're still winning that half of the pizza bet.
Fair enough.
And then finally, prices. Guys, now we need to know how much you think it's going to go for.
$300. You don't need a camera anymore because it's going to have inside-out tracking. We can only assume. So in the initial one, the camera added like almost was like $80 or like pretty expensive for the thing, 60 or 80. So that'll be cut out of the equation. I think you'll get the 2 motion controllers with it. And I think 300 is a reasonable guess.
David Moore says, if you're all wrong, I get the pizzas. I like that. If we're all wrong, we're sending pizzas to David.
Josh Speed also says, if the PSVR 2 drops next year, I will buy you a pizza with any topping you want.
Oh, all right.
Noted. I've got that. Write that down, David Moore.
Yep. Josh Speed has been
I wanted to have
very vocal that PlayStation VR 2 is not coming out soon.
Pretzels on it.
That is a pizza I will be happy to eat. Okay, so Dave says 300. AJ?
I'm going to say
be 4. It could be in between.
I'm going to say 400.
Crap. That's crazy because,
what are you going to say?
I mean, I wanted to say 300, but I don't want to make the same bet.
Well, as people in the chat have said, 350. What about 350?
I feel like it's going to be 3, but just to make my bet different, I'm going to go with 350, and I think it's a realistic number.
Okay.
Here's the thing. When we were placing pizza bets on the PlayStation 5, I was like, I don't think Sony's going to release a console at a something 50 number. It's not going to be 450 or 550. I don't think that's going to be the case. And I definitely thought it was going to be 4 and 5. But a headset, I think, is a little bit different. And so I think there's a potential there. And I think there might be bundles too. You know, like the headset with a game, headset without a game, headset with controllers, separate controllers. Who the fuck knows, man? I don't know. Anything's possible. But we're still going. We don't know what the deal is with that. So I think we're good with our numbers here.
I think 300 change the smartest choice.
I'm not going to change mine, but Gabriel has a really good point. He says the camera cost might be negated by the need for a battery. If it is wireless with an option to plug it in, they'd have to pay for a battery, which might offset the cost there.
Flame Hat, the Gamecat, says, if PSVR 2 drops next year, I will increase my Patreon support by $5 a month. Write that down. You got that, David Moore?
God damn. I feel like I've got the most to benefit here. There's pizza, there's pizzas, there's money. Everything's going to be great. PSVR 2 or not, it doesn't matter.
If we're right about this, I want someone to send me $5,000, okay? Just put that in there, David Moore.
I just want to roll around in pizza cheese if I win.
Hey, man. Just wait till it cools down a little bit. You might get some bad third-degree burns.
Just Incredible does say controllers will be $120 to $140 for a pair. Now
that's what the touch controllers cost. Yeah.
Now, I get that, and I get that it's going to be expensive, but I'm hoping that in a year from now or whenever this thing launches, and hopefully there's a potential here for Sony to take a bit of a loss. So we'll see what happens. It could be way more expensive, man. This could easily be $400, $450, $500. Who the fuck knows? But we'll see what happens.
You don't break 400. You don't break the 400 seal.
Let me tell you this. No. I think part of the Jim Ryan quote makes a lot of sense here. You know, for early adopters, I would pay $500, no questions asked. If they said, "Here's your PSVR 2. It comes with these awesome controllers and your 4K screens, whatever, blah blah blah," and it sounds impressive. I mean, sign me up. Maybe you'll come with a game just to get me in the door. $500, sure, I'll do it because I'm excited for it, right? And I think the early adopters will pay that. All the people who are like super into like wanting to play AAA VR games are going to pay the $500 right away. But I think it's going to take a couple years for the rest of the world to get on board, and it's going to take a couple of years for the price to get down and for it to be affordable to people who are interested in buying it, and of course for those big games that he was talking about to come out. So I do think that like it could potentially be kind of expensive at launch, and then maybe not so much. and get to that magical price point eventually. I don't think they're
Yeah,
scared of that.
It's going to be a hard sell though if the peripheral costs as much as or more than the system. I think because they're selling PS5s without a disc for $400.
Seriously.
So if this is $500, I don't think many consumers would be willing to pay more than they paid for the thing you play it on to play it. I think that would be people would be checked out from the beginning with that price point. I think it's got to be 3 or 4, something like that.
I got you. And I mean, and Sony is very price conscious, so I'm gonna say that you guys are probably right because they're very price conscious. They knew who was it? Was it Jim Ryan that was just talking recently, saying that he had to convince the R&D people not to make $1,000 PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's like they knew, when all this pricing stuff was going down, they knew that like 500 was their hard out. Like it had to be 4 and 5 at the absolute most. $600 was just going to be terrible for them. So they are very price conscious. They are very, familiar with what people are willing to pay and what they're not. So I'm with you guys.
I think, a lot of people are saying, I paid so-and-so amount of money when it first came out. And I did too, because I missed the bundle. I had to drive all around town picking up the pieces individually, buying brand new Move controllers instead of having PS3 ones or finding used ones. So I did spend a lot on mine, but I think there is something to the fact that at that time, it seemed like the most seamless way to get into VR. And now, with the Quest out there, they can't rely on people to pay that kind of money anymore if there's a cheaper option that still gets them in the door. So I think it's got to be 3 to 4, somewhere in there.
Shout out to Professor Lilith with a $5 donation. Says, "Happy Thanksgiving to you guys and all the Gamecats. I'm so grateful to have this community to play games with, especially this year. We are so grateful.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lilith.
Sweetheart. I think 300 is what it's going to end up being by the time it comes out. But I'm just going to say 400.
I'm hoping for 350 now. Now that I've got a bet in, right? It's going to be a $50 pizza that I win.
All right. So are all the bets secured?
All the bets are locked and loaded. I think it's probably time to move on.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on, but we still have some more PS5 discussion here. We are not done yet. I'm cutting out a couple of the lesser important articles here so that we don't have to go.
I like it.
Brian, you and I have been testing games nonstop, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, what works better, what works worse. And one of those games we ran into was Dirt Rally. This game was actually our number 25 spot on our list. And then we discovered that you cannot buy the VR add-on for Dirt Rally on the North American store. And we were like, well, this is a problem. If you have a PS5 and you want to buy Dirt Rally VR, you can't. Luckily, an investigative journalist named Brian Paul reached out to Codemasters and got an answer from them saying it will, in fact, return to the VR, return to the store.
It's still stupid, though, that it's only coming back to the store as the bundle. It's like, what about all the people who bought it thinking? I've gotten tons of comments from people being like, I bought this thinking it was VR compatible, and now I don't have, now I can't play it in VR. But yet there's Codemasters saying, nope, we're just going to return it to the store as a bundle, and you're not going to be able to download the VR content separately. I'm like, just make it part of the actual game at this point, right? Just make sure that when you update your game, you get the VR shit. At this point, man, it's been years.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is this game was made in 2015 originally, and it goes on sale for dirt cheap, no pun intended.
I think there's a lot of pun intended.
But yeah. So, but the good thing is it's a great game, and it will be returning to the store, bundle or not, add-on or not. I just want it back on the store to be able to be purchased so that I can recommend this game fully again. And then I also messaged them and said, while you're at it, make a PS5 patch and bring us 2.0. 2.0 is potentially something we could see, but they're busy. They've got Dirt 5 that they've just released. But anyways,
we could totally see 2.0 as a PlayStation VR 2 title.
Yes. That was actually my original thought, and it would be so good because Dirt Rally is amazing. Swords of Gargantua finally got a release date, you guys. This is one of the final sword fighting games that we've been kind of looking forward to. They have given us a date of, I think it was December 8th. This is a 4-player sword fighting arena combat style game.
Yeah, so we don't have a whole lot of these to, put on the list, but people have said, oh, it looks like Sony just isn't releasing any PS4 VR games anymore until Hitman, and that's not true. Just we had a lull, but I mean, Swords of Gargantua is coming next month, early next month, right? Or when's the release date?
8th, yeah. December 8th, December 9th.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is the significance of this. You nailed it. This is the first VR game to get a release date since the PS5 launch, because the PS5 has consumed the entire last 2 weeks of all the attention of everything. So it's nice to see that games are starting to get released again. Of course, Hitman is the next huge game that we're looking forward to.
We got Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife soon after that.
Right. For sure. There's definitely some big. I don't think we have a date for that. Do they say Q1, Q2?
They just keep saying they keep saying early 2021.
Yeah, I'd like to get more info on that before I'm get super excited. But we know Hitman 3 is January 20th. You can already pre-order it and everything. This is December 8th. Already really exciting. We also had a new game announced today. I am so stoked for this one, you guys. It is called 1976 Back to Midway. It is by Ivanovich Games and is based off of the old arcade game 1943. Brian?
Hey.
I love shmups.
I hate the word shmups.
Well, AJ, I love shmups too, and I don't even mind the word. So
thank you. I like you, Dave. I don't know about that.
That's why I keep my Dreamcast arcade stick around, is so I can play shmups.
Yeah,
I'm so excited for this, you guys. This looks freaking awesome. Taking a classic. Hopefully, you're rolling the trailer. Dave, have you seen the footage of this yet?
I am looking at it as we speak.
I think it's cool by having, so there's a combination of a couple things here. It is the top down thing, which is like, oh, and then it shows it going into first person. And I was like, yes, you can play this as first person. How's that going to work? There's a first person zone that you can hit, similar to Operation Warcade. The cool thing about the top down view, though, is that this stuff, when it shows you're playing, flipping and stuff, this stuff is going to be popping out at you. So it's going to have that interactive visual element to it. The 3D, if they really nail the 3D here, it's going to be sick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think they broke it with a patch or something, but I was a fan of Operation Warcade, honestly. It was not the highest budget. The graphics weren't the best ever, but I liked what it was trying to do, recreating Operation Wolf. And so it's the same kind of thing for a different style of game. And just like I just said in that one, you'd have these not really... they weren't flat, but they were like third-person segments. And then you go into first person. But this looks a lot more polished, and the graphics obviously are significantly better than Operation Warcade. But yeah, I'm very curious about this one because I love this style of games too. So we haven't really seen anything like this exactly. Should be fun.
Ivanovich is interesting when it comes to their thoughts on game design. They are very much into the idea of, hey, we want this to be played by everybody, and they give you all these options in touring carts for how you want to play it. You can play it kind of in VR, but with a flat screen in front of you. You can play it in complete three. You can play it in third person, first person, however you want to do it. And then they do the same thing. They mix things up with Operation Warcade, and so this is. I'm excited for this because I like shoot 'em ups. And these games I always thought were cool. I'm terrible at them. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like really terrible at them. And the thought of playing one of these in first person, I'm all about. But pulling me out of first person and going to like different parts, like the best parts of Operation Warcade is when they threw you into a car and you're driving, using the steering wheel with one hand and shooting with the other one, right? But that only lasts about 20, 30 seconds before they rip you out of it and put you somewhere else.
I'll agree to disagree on that one. I don't think the best parts of the game, they were nice ways to change up the base game, but I actually liked the base game in Operation Warcade just as much as those parts. So it was a cool way to change it up, but yeah.
I just wish there was more of that, I guess, because it felt like I was like, oh, this is a little sneak peek into what Grand Theft Auto could be like in VR. Look, I'm driving with one hand, shooting with the other hand. How cool is this? And I just wanted more of that, I guess. And so when I see this, I go, oh man, the first person stuff looks so good. But we talk about Trackmania. Is that what it is? Trackmania, and how sometimes they pull you out of first person and thrust you into first person. I don't know. I'm like, hopefully they implement it well. They've made a ton of VR games before, so hopefully they know what they're doing, and hopefully it's not a big deal. But we'll see. I'm excited for it, no matter how it comes out, just because we really haven't played anything like this in VR before.
Yeah, I'm super stoked for this. And Yuki, I hope one of them delivers, if not both. I think Operation Workade is actually fantastic. It's just too blurry. It's too blurry for me to play. It's so blurry to the point where I can't get into it. But if it wasn't for the blur, I would love the game.
Wonder Rob with the $5 donation says, "Today I'm thankful for you, Gamecats. Love, and not only that, but also love." Thank you so much for Wonder Rob.
Thank you again, Rob.
All right, we got some significant updates this week. The biggest one, so Squadrons, Swordsman, and Ninja Legends all got updates. Swordsman, I've heard, is a pretty big deal. I haven't played it yet, though, so I don't know. Same goes for Ninja Legends. I don't know. I'd imagine Ninja Legends just fixed like some major bugs.
Wait, the Swordsman VR, it did come out? I missed the Swordsman update?
I thought it did, yeah.
Okay. No, I've been kind of out of it, so I didn't get to try it out. But that's good to hear that it came out.
But yeah, the big one being Star Wars Squadrons finally got that thing. We don't have to go too deep into this because we've already gone over this a few times, but they have a new map and some graphical enhancements. The biggest thing that I saw, first of all, the new map is awesome. It is probably one of my favorite maps to play on now.
Nice.
It is so much fun, and it looks fantastic on the PS5. It looks so good.
Now, did they sneak in the B-wing and the tie, whatever it was? Not yet.
Month.
Those aren't there yet.
That's for next month.
Gotcha. Or next month. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's for next month. But this did bring in some new customization stuff between weapons, engine customization, some of the stuff that you customize your own character with. There's some new things there. So some nice little additions there. But mostly just the new map is the highlight here. And I also think there's a little bit more stability. I didn't get the judder. I didn't get a lot of judder like I used to. And somebody else said that they noticed that too, that they didn't have as much judder. Because usually you would turn left and right in the war room and it'd be like it was crazy. It was like an earthquake. And then also my joystick wasn't drifting as much. My HOTAS wasn't drifting as much as it usually did. So little stability there seems nice. But that's the biggest update of the week so far.
Can you tell me more about the map? Just because I didn't get a chance to jump in, and that's what I wanted to check out. I really wanted to see, they talked about like the, the areas where the turrets are, being like kind of cramped and like a cool place to, and then the open space. Like how much different was it from the campaign?
That is exactly. So it's pretty much exactly like the campaign, how it looks. But the significance of this is one of the critiques we've had on Star Wars Squadrons is that a lot of the levels are out in open space, and then there's just floating objects around. There's nothing on the land. Everybody has been saying like, oh, how cool would it be to actually have, you're flying in ships and stuff, but to be something a little closer to a planet, closer to the surface. Cool. This level has that kind of design, that kind of vibe about it, where it's a large structure, similar to I think it was like SLX or something, SLL, but where it is a giant structure, and it does have like the surfaces stuff, the trains and stuff. Train tracks are going around, and it has all these giant pillars and things to fly around. It is just a well-made, a well-designed map. There's plenty of open space, but there's also like a sense of presence of like a place where you come and gather and fight. And then there's also lots of cover. So it just overall is really nice. And again, on the PS5, this level looks really good. And that just helps it pop.
That is really, really good to hear. Shout out to Todd, the father mucking Gamecats, the $2 donation.
That's so hard to say.
I know. I have to think about it I thought about that for the entire time that AJ was talking. I was like, Gamecats.
Get it right.
$2 donation says, "Rip Preda. Just wanted to bitch one last time." It does suck, man.
Yeah.
Preda's so good. Fred has not had an easy go of it, man. That's just such a shame.
Yeah. Preda and Perfect, as far as we know so far, do not work.
Perfect works fine. It's just unfortunately it's still perfect. It's still the game, so it's terrible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I tried it out. It's so strange because when you install it, it shows up on your media tab instead of your games tab. I'm like, all right, you really don't consider this a game. I get you.
Who would?
Yeah. Also, shout out to Slyburger with the Canadian $10 donation. Says, just a little something something for all the hours of entertainment. I know it's Canadian, but maybe you will get the tiniest sliver of a slice. Thank you very much, Slyburger. We appreciate you. Much
Thank
love.
you, sir.
So much love, man. I just want to run out there and hug all of you. You're amazing.
All right, guys. So now is the time. Thank you once again to Duram Fan, the Gamecat, for posting this entire list. There is a Black Friday sale going on right now. Tons of games on sale worth picking up. We're going to go through each one of them, give a thumbs up, thumbs down, tell you why you shouldn't be buying these. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this started. You guys ready?
Oh God, I'm ready for it to be over. It's not as bad as it usually is, right? There's not like 1,000 games on sale, right?
There's much fewer than usual, I think, this time. I hope to God. And there's 5 listings for Arizona Sunshine, so that'll be real quick.
This is the Black Friday sale. Keep that in mind, everybody. So the sale does end on the 1st. So make sure you get if you want to buy any of these, get it in, man, before the last day of the month.
What do we got first, AJ?
First up, we have A Fisherman's Tale for $7.49, regular $14.99.
Not a bad price for this game. There's some magical moments. I thought it was well done, but a little forgettable for me. Yeah. 15, I would say, wait for a sale. $7.49, I would say that's a good sale. Buy it.
$7.49 for a charming. I love the graphics and the charm that this game has. It did kind of seem like a Disney, like a French Disney movie. Is like what it's like playing.
Like a DreamWorks movie.
Yeah, like a French DreamWorks movie. Or is that French already?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think this game is okay. It's hard to argue with this price.
It's hard to argue with the price. 90 minutes is a little short. And there's not a ton of replay value. I mean, it's very interesting. You'll never play anything else like it. But once that initial novelty wears off of like the, interacting with yourself in 3 different dimensions, it does get a little stale very quickly. And I wouldn't want it to last more than 90 minutes. And I actually hate the last third of this game. So I only like the first hour.
Wait, not the part when you get inside the big fish, though, right?
That's early on.
I like the big fish part.
When you're in the lighthouse near the end, it is just
the lighthouse puzzle is so dumb.
In my book, it's a disaster, right? And so, and so I actually, I'm going to give this one a sideways
middle of the road.
I'm going to give it middle of the road as well.
Okay, I'll give it the 1 thumbs up. So that's pretty much mediocre, but kind of
Right.
Not horrible, but
we're off and running. It only took us 7 minutes to get through the first game, guys. This is going to be a long night, everybody.
Next, we have Ace Combat 7 for $19.79. Now, here's the thing, guys. I usually would tell you absolutely go out and get this right now. I know it's limited. There's only 3 levels. There's a bunch of difficulties. There are more missiles and ships to unlock and a couple other modes. But here's the thing. On my Twitter, hopefully you're following me there, you can find a link to Ace Combat 7 physical copy for $11.99.
Ooh, that's even better.
Physical copy of Ace Combat 7 for $11.99 has me saying no to this. Go follow me on Twitter. Get that one instead.
I would say if you're impatient or you're not a physical person or whatever, you just don't mind digital, $20 is a great deal for this. I mean, if they had charged $20 for a standalone VR experience instead of part of the $60 game, I think everybody at launch would have been like, wow, this is awesome. I love this fucking thing. Because like AJ said, even though it's 3 levels, there is replayability, there's unlocks and all that stuff. So for me, it's a thumbs up at 20, even though there is a cheaper way to get it if you want to.
Yeah, man, it's tough because I'm absolutely like, go get the physical version. So I'm gonna give it the thumbs up to the physical version. And I mean, some people don't have a disc drive in their console anymore, so
still gonna give it a thumbs up.
Right? So sideways thumbs
up.
But go to my Twitter and get that one.
AJ.
You want me to leave the room while you continue
Arizona
to pimp the
Sunshine.
Twitter? Yeah.
Hey, let's professional, guys. Let's keep it professional.
Yeah.
Arizona Sunshine Deluxe Edition for $22.49. This is such a mess.
It is.
It's a deluxe edition for a game that hasn't come out yet. It's like we're hoping
No,
after the fall
it
comes
has.
out. No. But it's after the fall content, right?
Right.
So yeah, so it's like why? I mean, we're
If
really
you
putting
have
a lot
PS Plus, it's $17.99. The deluxe upgrade is $7.99. The Dead Man DLC is $1.99. The damn DLC is $3.99.
How much is just the game?
I don't actually see.
It's listed on here $14.79.
Okay.
$14.79.
Listen,
$14.79.
that's the only one I care about. Pick up the DLC for $1 or $2, whatever. It's fine. It's gives a little bit of extra gameplay, which is nice. I actually like the DLC, but this game has definitely gone on sale for around $12, and that's the price I always say. I always say you should definitely pick this up at $12. Like this is a $12 game, and so 15 is close enough. I'm going to say, all right, why not?
I don't like this game, man.
I know.
I liked it more after playing Onslaught. But last time I went to play this game, it was a buggy mess still. And like it's like one day I'm like, okay, 10 like I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no to this.
Buggy mess, huh?
It's not the worst game. It can be fun with multiplayer. It has some good qualities. But I just have it gives me such a headache and such a hassle. No, I want to have fun, not mess with bugs and stuff.
Nice. The last time I played, I got to say, no bugs at all. Tons of bugs at launch. Had a mess of a time at launch. But man, the last time I played it, I had a lot of fun. I was like, this is great. It's a zombie shooter. Pretty no-frills zombie shooter. Yeah.
That being said, I'm so excited for After the Fall. Cannot wait for that game.
100%.
And some people will like Arizona Sunshine, so... If you're like dying to get it, yeah, go ahead get it. But I'm gonna have to say no.
Dave hasn't chimed in on this yet.
I did with my thumbs. I just said with my thumbs.
I like that.
I've talked too much in my life about Arizona Sunshine.
All right, here we go.
I guess we all have.
Box VR for $11.99.
Great workout.
If you want a workout game, yeah, absolutely pick it up.
Tons of content for sure.
Sabara Zero, greetings from Peru. Hello.
Hey, from Peru. So is that a thumbs up all across for Box?
No.
I'm
gonna give it sideways because if you just want an exercise app, then this is a yes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want a game, meh.
Yeah, that's why I'm giving it a thumbs up.
That's what I'm
giving
saying.
It a thumbs up for an exercise
if
app.
you know what you're buying, that's what it is. Yeah.
Right.
Next we have budget cuts for $19.49. It's an interesting one.
It's weird because it's a newer game on PSVR ish. I mean, it came out in the past 6 months at least, and so it's good to have a sale already. Where you get $10 off. But I also feel like this has probably been on Steam for like $4 in the past. Like it's been out long enough that I would like a little bit more of a sale on it.
Yes,
but
I'm 100% with you right now.
Yeah,
it's a cool game though. I mean,
it's a good game.
I'm the middle on this one, I think.
It felt like a $20 game at launch to me, and now it's the right price. And I'm like, so it's good. It's a good price, but I feel like it should have been this to begin with. And so if you're looking for a good sale game, I don't think this is the right price. I don't think this is the right sale. Wait for it to be $20 and then go on sale for something cheaper.
That will happen. Yeah, it's going to end up being $12 one day.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with both of you. This game should have launched at $20 and should be like $15. $10 right now.
It's also not
15 is plenty. Like 15, I would pay like 15 would be like this is a must have at $15.
It's also not terribly well optimized. Like there are loading screens very frequently. It's like so you're like only loading into like very small areas, and then like you just end up with these. And then and some of the puzzles really bothered me. Felt like
that one with the names on the
that one, and then the final
and
then the puzzle for the final boss I was not happy with. So like so it's like it left me with a bad taste in my mouth, and I was like it's like this would have been way happier at $20, and now again we've already had this conversation, so definitely it's a no. It's a no.
I'm in the middle of the road on this one.
Middle of the road.
I can't wait to talk about the next one.
Real quick before the next one. Sorry. Wonder Rob with the $5 donation says, "Is Box VR and Fit XR the same thing?" It will be, yes.
Sort of, yes.
Yeah.
The Fit XR update, the whole switch over isn't happening on PSVR until next year, but it is happening. Yeah, and so, but yeah, it's essentially the same thing. Anakin?
I'm not hearing good things about it, to be honest with you, though. I think somebody, it was either Road to VR Upload, said that. I mean, maybe they were just being picky or something. I think it was Upload. And they were like, we're not crazy about this interface. So
Interesting.
No, I'm not crazy about the new Beat Saber UI either.
Anakin
That didn't bother me. It didn't bother me.
Oh no, I don't like the new Beat Saber UI. That can suck it. Anakin with a $5 donation says, showing some love for Dave's glorious mane. With a
Thank you,
lion
sir.
emoji.
Oh yeah.
Very nice.
Not to mention he's got a Mega Man Boba Fett avatar. Next game is wait, hold on. Wonder Rob with the $5 donation says Anakin Dave is a combo of Alan Rickman and Noel Fielding.
I don't know who either of those people are.
Alan Rickman is Hans Gruber. Hans Gruber. Severus Snape.
Dude, by Grabthar's hammer.
Okay.
You've not seen movies? You've
No.
not seen movies. Okay, I forgot.
I don't
Oh,
like
he doesn't
actors. I'm not a fan of like keeping up with actors or knowing actors and that kind of stuff. So unless they're
Aren't
like,
you a big Harry Potter fan?
I like Harry Potter.
He's the bad guy in Harry Potter.
Now
You
that
know
I,
who Alan Rickman
no,
is.
now I know. Now that Dave told me who he is, now I know. But who's Noel Fielding?
I told you.
Noel Fielding is, I don't know if you've seen The Mighty Boosh, that old British comedy show, The Mighty Boosh.
No.
There's two main characters on it. One is kind of like, he calls himself a mod all the time. He's kind of foppish. He's got big hair. If I dyed little parts of it blonde, I would kind of look like him, I think. But anyways.
I'll have to.
One more real quick. Chess for Giants. $2 donation. Thank you so much. Says fam, heart. Keep up the 420 blazing. Happy Thanksgiving. He's smoking turkeys out here. He's smoking turkeys.
We can't do that on the show. It's not entirely legal.
Over here it is. For some reason, on this third of the window, it's legal, but it's apparently not legal in these other windows over here.
This is legal. Cheers, everybody.
Coffee. Is
I know. I have a beer for the first time. I need my beer. Anyways, moving on to letter D, guys. Dreams for 1999. Floor
This
yours.
is like the biggest fucking yes I can imagine. This is such a steal. Like, not only the creative potential, but especially if you got a PS5. This is like the game that's optimized, and it's a huge night and day. Like, some games were literally unplayable. They would not run in VR before. And now it's just like, boom, they're clear as day. It's like
it's crazy
it's
how clear
great
they are.
to see what people have done in here too, like, and will continue to do. I know we've had Wargarble in the chat. He keeps posting stuff from his like House of the Dead thing that he's working on.
So
looks
good.
incredible.
Yep.
They have aim support now. Like, there's so many reasons to recommend this. It's not going to have a full giant game, but it's going to have a zillion different little experiences you can try out, and there's something for everybody.
You get to make VR games.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
that's
other part.
all you need to say. You get to make VR games. That's incredible, and they look beautiful, man. So this was worth it at 40. It's definitely worth it.
I can't even believe they could sell this for 20. Like, it's crazy to create this technology and be like, yeah, you could have it for $20. Like, I'm just like, are you serious? No.
I'll be honest with you. Every other day, I think about, God, I wish I could just quit everything and just make dreams for the rest of my life. I really have that temptation. I wish I could. I wish I had the time and stuff, because I absolutely would be making the greatest VR games every single day when possible. And one day I will go back to it. One day when we stop having a bunch of releases, once I start having some free time stuff, I am going back into making a bunch of dreams. And I'm like, I just wish I could right now, because you can literally make any VR game you want for the rest of your life.
AJ, I have a big question for you.
What's that?
A lot of VR games get seasonal updates, right? A Halloween update, a Christmas update. Can we expect, perhaps, a Dream Borders VR Christmas update where
put
there's
some
like
snow in that
snowmen and like
I realized
some
the
Christmas lights
mistake
and stuff.
I made. I realized the mistake I made about wanting to make a Halloween level. All I had to do was add some Halloween stuff to the levels that were already there. And I was like, why didn't I do that? So if there's enough demand for it,
there is demand for it.
I will.
Everybody in the chat, tell him.
I will Christmasify the hell out of Dream Borders and make it extra Christmassy.
I mean, here's what I want. Here's what I want. And screw Christmas. I want you to start working on next year's Halloween update. And it needs to be like a Rush of Blood type level where you're actually snowboarding through the entire thing and things are jumping out and trying to kill you.
I was thinking about doing that too. I was going to make it. I want to make something with the aim controller now that there's aim support. Anyways.
That'd be fun. Snowboarding and shooting stuff. Oh,
guys,
yeah, totally. You should have to, never mind.
When we finish this at 10 o'clock, I'm blaming you guys.
We could gush about Dreams all day, man. Which is why
it's the biggest thumbs up you could possibly give.
All of us are giving thumbs up here.
This
man.
is the one. If you don't buy anything else in this sale, fucking buy Dreams.
Ooh.
If you don't have it yet, please. It's so good.
There's some good ones. There's a huge thumbs up here. All right, there's more though, because we've got Gorn for $14.99.
I didn't realize that had come out yet. Damn, people are always asking.
I know it's not out yet, so let's move on to the next one. Iron Man VR for $19.99. Someday Gorn will be out.
Dude,
Iron Man VR for $19.99.
Wait, you're really gonna skip Gorn?
I'm gonna give Gorn a middle of the road.
It's not out yet.
Just a quick mid-zos from me.
I really like Gorn, man. I really enjoyed that, but I did feel like once I was done with the campaign, I didn't want to go back. I know like a lot of people really enjoy messing with the customization stuff and being like, no gravity and tiny dudes and what. Like that. So when I was done with the campaign, I was like, So I'm gonna give it a middle of the road too.
I'm gonna give middle of the road as well.
Alrighty.
I like Gorn.
What the fuck was that sound?
I like Gorn.
PlayStation app, sorry.
I liked it more than I thought it would be, but it was kind of one and done. And I like Swordsman a lot more. Swordsman is much more my style than Gorn is. Next, we have Iron Man VR for $19.99, or the Iron Man VR Digital Deluxe Edition for $29.99. I'm gonna go ahead and say no to the Digital Deluxe Edition.
Yeah, you don't need the Deluxe Edition. It's just some skins, right?
Right. Actually, I do like those.
I know you do. You kept raving about the new decos and shit.
Yeah, they're fine.
But they did update the game with more decos already. So.
Exactly. There's so many without it, you don't even need it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've talked about this game a million times. Long, bad loading screens, teleport, click, turn only when you're doing the mansion stuff, story mode stuff, which really sucks. Really hurts the experience.
Yeah.
But the gameplay and the overall core gameplay experience, the action is there. The action is really good. And I really like Tony Stark's story. I like the characters in the story in this.
Well, I think that's the big thing with this one. Like, there's plenty of flaws and things to say, it's not worth this much because of this and that. But really, the core game is like a long campaign where you feel like Iron Man for the whole thing. So that's pretty cool. And it's pretty well done. I liked the Ghost character a lot. Like, she was a cool villain. And just like I thought it was a really well done game for $20. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, especially once again if you picked up a PS5, because the loading times are really the one nail in the coffin. If there was a nail in the coffin, it would be the loading times.
Yeah.
So
they patched it to improve the loading times on the PlayStation 4. And I remember going in being like, oh, this is significantly better and probably just better enough for me to be like, yeah, okay, you should play this game. You should totally play this with this loading screen. But then, it was so funny playing it on PlayStation 5 and going, oh, these loading screens are pretty good now. There's still like, it goes to black and you listen to the voiceovers, and it takes much longer to get into the level when you actually start doing these comparisons. But then doing the comparison, going back to PlayStation 4 Pro and sitting through how the loading screens are currently, I'm like, wow, these are still really bad. So if you're on a PS5, hands down, absolutely. But maybe you can wait until you get a PS5 for this one.
I'd still say even if you have a PS4, I'm going to say yes for this.
I enjoyed it.
I have major problems with this game. I don't care. This game is awesome. And you get to play as Iron Man and smash drones. And that is, you get the Unibeam attack, the story, everything. Yeah, it's good. It's great.
What did Mark asked, how long is Iron Man? It's been a while since I played through the story. Is it
6 hours?
6-ish?
For the story.
Yeah,
for the story.
Yeah, watch my review. I'm sure I said it there somewhere. But it's been a while. I forgot.
There's a bunch of like challenge missions, and occasionally the story will make you do one, but there's a lot that you're not, mandated to do. So you could easily spend like 12. I mean, trying to beat that final challenge on like ultimate mode or whatever would probably take you a good fucking 4 hours just right there. But there's a lot to do in this game.
They've added stuff too, which makes it nice. So big was that a thumbs up from all of us?
Yes. Absolutely, yes.
So Dreams and Iron Man VR are the only ones that have gotten a full thumbs up from us so far. No Man's Sky for $29.99. Now, obviously, this is going to be an easy one for me. No Man's Sky is like an amazing game. It is still blurry on PS5. but it's still amazing.
Yeah.
And the problem here is that you can find this game on sale for like $12 everywhere.
Yeah,
So,
the physical copy is always really cheap.
Yeah.
I think I got one at GameStop like 2 years ago for $15.
Yeah.
Like,
so this sale price I don't like. So I'm going to say no.
yeah, this
I'm
is
with
one of
you.
those times where the sale price is just so much higher than a physical copy. It's just like, just get a physical copy.
Yeah. All right, that was easy. Paper Beast for $14.99. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those ones, once again, where like 30, the original price, I think is too high. It's a
Very.
cool experiment. It's sometimes artistically really interesting. Conceptually does some cool stuff. I like some of the puzzles a lot. And just the look of the creatures is like, it kind of blow you away at first. You're like, damn, this is crazy. But it's got some issues, and it's not really going to be for everybody. I think 15 is probably the highest I would pay for it at this point, this far out from release. But for 15, I'd say, yeah, if it looks like something you're into, I'll give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, it's a really tough one for me too, because I love Eric Chahi. He made some amazing games that I love.
Heart of Darkness.
And
Yeah.
Another World, if you
Another
guys aren't
World.
familiar with him.
Yeah, another world. I mean, I played the crap out of that. It wasn't a long game, but I played it a lot. It took me forever as a kid for some reason to get through that. And so, like, I really respect what the dude does. And then, like, and I love artistic games. I love indie games. And so, like, it should be checking all these boxes for me. And I played through this game, and I was, for a good 90% of it, I just wasn't having any fun. I wasn't enjoying it. Like, people were like, "Oh, it's beautiful." And I was like, I don't think it's beautiful. Like, I don't even think it's terribly interesting. There was 10% of this game where I was like, "Oh man, that's really cool," but then the rest of it, I was like, "I'm not interested in what's going on right here." So unfortunately for me, at any price, I'm like, no, it just didn't work for me.
I think there's some mechanics that'll appeal more to certain people. Like, for me, the idea of this puzzle world where the animals have their own consciousness and you're not really given an instruction on how to do something. You just have to work with what's in front of you and figure it out yourself. I mean, it's not the deepest thing ever, but I like games that sort of put you in that mysterious position of there's not a button prompt, there's not a hint,
Right?
there's
Same.
nothing like that. It's so if you like that kind of stuff, I would still say it's worth taking a look at.
This game is supposed to be like mind-blowing experience thing, and if it did that, it would be great, but it didn't do that for me. I think results will vary. I'd say go play the demo because it's a free demo, and if you like the demo, then get the game. But otherwise,
no demos seem to work on PlayStation 5 though, so hopefully you also have your
Really?
PlayStation.
Wait, demos don't work on PS5?
None of the PlayStation
not.
VR demos seem to work at all.
I was not aware of that. That's
because of the competition here in this sale, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Okay.
saying no just because I didn't
I'm
like
still
it.
sticking. I'm still sticking with my thumbs up. I think the chat is just as divided.
No,
Void
it's
says
really
he fucking loved it. Other people are like, yeah,
I
didn't
see
get
Void
into it.
liking it, and I see everyone else saying no.
Oh.
I said it's divided. All right, I said I liked it.
Just because the
Void
dividing
did not
line is
make up
way over here.
50%.
All right.
Hugh Guyver with the
also-
Australian $10 donation. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. He goes, late to the party. Cousin says hi. What's up, Cousin Mac? PSVR without parole. Fire. Man, you guys have been so nice tonight. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Don't tell your cousin, but Hugh Guyver, I was looking at this GameStop sale. They had all these $9 shirts at GameStop today. It's like a Black Friday t-shirt sale.
I can imagine where this is going.
The only one that had a review score was the MacGyver shirt, and it had a 1-star review. And I was like, who got this MacGyver shirt and was like, this is the worst shirt I've ever received?
A shirt got a 1-star review.
1-star review. Yeah,
That's
it's like,
pretty
but
rough,
don't tell
man.
your cousin because that'll probably make him feel bad. Like all the other bad shirts didn't have bad reviews.
Pretty rough.
All right.
What's
next?
next?
What we got
We
next?
have this is a tricky one in some ways. It's a little trickier than it might seem on the surface. Next, we have Resident Evil 7 for $9.99.
And this is just vanilla, right? This isn't the ultimate
Vanilla.
DLC version or anything like that, right? Just a
Vanilla.
straight up game.
So my question
Vanilla.
I want to pose to the chat, right?
Yes.
How many people out there don't have PlayStation Plus at this point? Because this is part of the Plus collection.
Does anybody not have
If
PlayStation
you've
Plus?
got the 5, you can access it
Or
as part
access
of the
to
Plus
a 5.
collection.
True. That's very true. And so, but you know what? It's like, so with all that in mind, I mean, this is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best games ever made. And in VR, it's super crazy, terrifying. the only thing I'll say, the only thing that beats it, other than the Plus collection, is that once upon a time, the Gold Edition was on sale for $20. And so the Gold Edition with all that DLC is an amazing deal at $20. But if you just need to get your feet wet and get into Resident Evil 7 for the first time, and you're just like, I don't have a PlayStation 5, and it's never going to happen, I need to play this game, $10 is an amazing, amazing deal for this. So, I mean, my answer.
I mean, it's obvious. If you haven't played it and you have $10, you should play Resident Evil 7. Like, yeah, thumbs up all the way.
Genetic Blasphemy doesn't have Plus. Yeah. Some people are not going to have Plus. Doesn't matter. I'm giving this a thumbs up. It's Resident Evil fucking 7. One of the best games ever. You need to play it. I don't care.
That's all there is to say.
You have to play this game. I don't care if you're scared.
XPacer X with a $20 donation saying, just wanted to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. You guys rock! ! It's fun. It's fun that he didn't even
say anything rude to me. Usually he does.
Well, his comment before that was literally, "You fuckers still going?"
Yeah.
So,
of course, yeah.
So I mean, you take the good with the bad when it comes to XPacer X.
Depressing?
Absolutely.
No, there's nothing depressing about Resident Evil 7. It is. Look, again, I'm gonna make this
experience of my life.
It is scary, yes, but it is designed to scare you and be fun and be addicting and like.
So good.
Just trust me on this one. I wouldn't lie to you. It's
Counterpoint.
Scary.
I'd be a little depressed if my ex-girlfriend cut my hand off.
Nope. It's okay. You pour some water on it. It's all good.
Okay, I have played this game so many times, right? And when I was recently streaming it, I literally laughed out loud when that scene happened because I saw my stub of a hand, I saw blood gushing out on the floor, and it still made me giggle. I was like, like it was just so goofy and fun, and I was like, I love everything about this game. And so even depressing, absolutely not, man. That game makes me smile from the second I get into the second I get out. Love it, man. Absolutely.
All right, we don't have to explain anymore. Buy Resident Evil.
It's a great one. Yeah, just
Skyrim VR for $19.79. I love this game. It comes with all the DLC. It's huge. You don't have to play every single thing there is in the game. There is a path you can follow of main quests. I prefer this game with the moves, and yeah, I love it with the moves, sword and shield. It looks fantastic on a Pro. If you have an OG, I would say no. But if you have a Pro or a PS5, absolutely yes.
Yeah. David. I mean, for some reason, I thought you were going to go into when you said, I like playing with the moves. I like long walks on the beach, that sort of thing. But you can go for long walks on the beach in this game. It's so expansive. It's so big. As far as like a world to explore in VR, it looks like a PS3 game because it is a PS3 game, but it's a pretty goddamn expansive and fun sort of thing. So I would say, yeah, $20 if you are into it and haven't played it. Yeah, great price.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree. Yeah. If you have played it,
okay,
because Desra, who has played the crap out of Skyrim, was like couldn't stop raving about Skyrim VR. He was like, it felt like a brand new game to me, and it was unbelievable. He's like, this is the way to play it. So I'm gonna. It's no question when I've replayed this game.
You still wake up in that damn cart every time.
I played this game again for some comparison videos, and it was one of those another one where I didn't want to stop playing because you could just wander in any direction and something will inevitably happen. Or again, you can go play the story. I just love the freedom of this. You can play it however you want to. Sword and shield, magic powers. I mean, you guys know Skyrim, but
vampire, werewolf, a lot of options.
It's just so much cooler with move controllers to like shoot thunder and lightning. Not thunder, but I guess it does thunder when you lightning. Dude, absolutely $20. Thumbs up. Yeah, sorry.
I'm going to be a thumbs up guy who is a weird holdout and says, don't play it with the moves because the menu system sucks with the moves, and it's much easier to do stuff like RPG style with the DualShock. So I just play with the DualShock, really.
I think DualShock is fine.
Yeah.
Somebody was, because apparently on the original PC version, the menus were just as cumbersome. So, So somebody asked me, our good buddy Jim, who recently bought a PSVR because of us, was on the PC side. Yes. His name was Jim, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think so, yeah.
I thought that was his name.
It's hard to keep track of everybody, AJ, but I do know.
I remember everybody, except for Jim, apparently. But also, big congrats. The Wolf Craze picked up Dreams after going through this sale thing. So congratulations, and you're welcome. And I gave you a list of some games you should check out.
Congratulations, and you're welcome.
If
Please
only
give
there
thanks
was
to
a
us
channel.
for convincing you to buy the game.
If only there was a channel that talked about all the great Dreams creations out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
By the way, stay tuned. That's all I'm going to say about that. Stay tuned.
Gabriel, with the $5 tip, the license to Meow Gamecat says, I sold VR to a family member by putting them in Skyrim cart.
Nice. You know what's better than the Skyrim cart? Is the Golem cart. The Golem cart is way prettier than the Skyrim cart. You sit in the back of that cart at the beginning of Golem. It's beautiful.
The beginning of Skyrim, for some reason, is a little blurry, even on the Pro. For some reason, that beginning sequence never was like really polished. But then you get to the rest of the game, and it looks fantastic. So I don't know what they're doing there, or what they did there.
Max says, I think I was faster with the moves in the menus. So maybe you got to step up your game, David.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they patched it or something, but I don't know.
Sick burn, bro. All right. Next we have so all three yes to Skyrim.
Oh, double yes. 6 thumbs
Yes.
up.
All right. 6 thumbs up.
Maybe 5. I don't know.
Next we have we might actually make perfect timing here, guys. This is crazy. Unprecedented.
I know we all have some place to be.
Star Wars Squadrons for $23.99. We just talked about this getting an update earlier. It looks better on the PS5 via dynamic resolution. This game is absolutely amazing, whether you use the joystick, the DualShock 4, or the HOTAS. HOTAS, of course, is the most preferable way to play. This is an easy, absolute must-have. Surprised it's gone on sale as much as it has recently.
Yeah, right?
Easy,
It's
no
gotta be
brainer.
selling really
top
well.
5 without parole, top 25 PSVR game.
Recency
top
bias.
5. There's some recency bias there, but recency as in I played it earlier and it's still damn good.
It's so
Well, the recency thing for me is that it came out so recently and it's already on sale for $23. That's crazy. And they're adding stuff to it, like actively, which they didn't even say they were going to. Yeah, they said they weren't going to, and then they just are. So these two things say they, first of all, have sold a lot of copies already because they're willing to put money back into it, but they've sold enough that I think that they can get away with getting more people in at a lower cost. Like they've made their baseline back, and now you can build up the player base by selling it for cheap. And what's up? Is there something wrong? Why is everyone doing this?
I don't know.
I'm raising my hand for when you're done.
Oh, AJ.
Oh, I thought there was something wrong with
there's
the
only 3 of
streamers.
us.
I was like, I was freaking me out. I was like, what's going on? I don't know what happened.
There's only 3 of us.
Stop,
You just
Dave.
start talking. Eventually, we'll stop talking over you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm done.
There is a catch here.
Okay.
The high ground game cat says, how would Squadrons work on an OG? No. If that is the catch here, do not play this. Do not get this on an OG unless you're getting a PS4 Pro or PS5 soon. Preferably get a PS5.
So the name was Jim, by the way. Jim Perona is with us in
Jim!
in the tips. $4.99 from Jim Perona. He
There
says,
he
totally
is.
late to the party on this, but been playing through Astrobot for the first time, and it is magical.
Yes.
Most memorable VR experience since Half-Life Alyx. This is what people don't understand.
I told you, I remember
we got some
everybody.
damn good
You lucked
exclusives
out,
over
is
here.
what you're saying.
If somebody says the most memorable VR experience since Half-Life Alyx, you know we got some good games over here. Astrobot kicks so much ass. I'm so glad you got to experience it for the first time.
Oh my god, Astrobot's so good.
That was just on sale for $10 recently,
Yes.
wasn't it? Like, so awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's so great getting into PlayStation VR at this point because games like Astrobot that launched at 40 are now 20 regularly and then go on sale for 10. I think Blood and Truth is in the same boat. I don't even there's a few games. Farpoint is ridiculously cheap. That was another $40 game. So it's really good. What is Game Clips? What am I showing here? God, I gotta change this.
Hell yeah, dude. That is so awesome to hear you say that. And we were just talking about you, Jim.
Yeah, thanks for being part of the stream, dude. We were just talking about you.
Yeah.
AJ was just talking about you. I was like, I don't know. Or Dave, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
All right. So next we have oh
my God.
We have Tekken 7 Ultimate Edition for $19.99. No.
Dude, in case no one knows, the Tekken 7 VR part is a practice mode with no health bars. You can just all you can do is select your characters. There's like a boring generic background. You can't even play through the campaign or multiplayer or whatever with this. It's just a practice mode, and it's not even all that good. So if you're buying it for the VR part, absolutely not. Tekken's a good game though, so there's that.
Yeah, no, this is a big thumbs down. It's like a sorry excuse for a VR mode, and they're still releasing DLC for this. Those monsters.
And doesn't it show
Shame.
up just like the Ace Combat DLC? Doesn't it show up in the VR section of the store? Which is like, why are you confusing the matter? What are we doing here? You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody bought Tekken 7 thinking it was all in VR, like I would be majorly pissed if I found out afterwards. Because, like, yeah, Brian said it's pretty much a useless mode. It's like as good as a character viewer, and that's about it. So I just don't understand why they even included it, to be honest.
They probably made an agreement with Sony. Sony's like, please put a VR mode in here. We'll give you $100,000.
You know, I bet you they did have a certain period where they were like with the Tomb Raider thing, where it was sort of like not really a game, but just sort of something to do in VR. You know, like it did seem like we got a spate of those. That's how you use that word, right? Spate.
I've never used it in my life, and I probably haven't heard.
Neither have I. Yeah. In my mouth, it's never come out, but I've seen it written. Sorry, we've been here for too long.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say no, just like you guys. No.
Thumbs down all around.
All right, so next we have two different versions of the same game. We've got the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Standard Edition for $27.99, and the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Tourist Edition for $34.99.
I'm going to take a weird angle here and say that you should buy the more expensive one just because these people deserve the money. Because this is, if you looked at our list, the best game on PlayStation VR. AJ's sitting right next to a poster of it. And I think I bought the regular edition and went back and gave them $10 extra for the tourist just because I played so much of the game. And I was like, these guys deserve my money in a way that most developers haven't earned it. So I'm going to say $34.99 edition, go all the way.
So I'm going to do this, Dave. I'm going to say go the standard edition. I think, first of all, this is one of the best games on PSVR. One of the most innovative, deepest gameplay, immersion mechanics, lots of immersion in mind here. Fantastic game. One of my favorites. And I'm going to say go with the base game because the DLC is really a really bad dynamic theme that I was very disappointed about.
Shots fired.
And there's 3 weapons that are like optional. Like they're cool, but it's just 3 weapons, and one's a revolver. You already have a revolver. One's a katana. You already have a katana. And then the other.
I just want to remind you, Tiffany's here, so you're not supposed to say. You're supposed to tell him to buy the expensive one.
Tiffany wants me to be honest. I'm going to be honest.
Listen, no offense to Tiffany, but who gives a fuck what Tiffany wants? This is our show, okay? So let's keep that in mind, okay? We love you, Tiff, but we're whether you're here or not.
GameCat and a supporting PSVR and gamer lover. She is not here on business. Thank you very much. But yeah. So and then there's the baseball bat. The baseball bat is the one that's different there. That's kind of cool. Obviously, my favorites are the katana and stuff. So I'd say buy the standard game. If you like the game enough, which you probably will, then upgrade, pay the little upgrade fee and upgrade to the tourist edition.
I'm seeing a lot of support in the chat for buying the tourist edition.
I'm nothing wrong with it. I did the same thing. I played the game, and then I went back and upgraded to the tourist edition. And I like the weapons. I like the sheriff, the revolver. That's probably my favorite thing of the 3, to be honest, because the katana is the same. The baseball bat, I'm not a big fan of. I think it's cool. It's like Lucille.
Yeah.
But the katana,
Real quick, we got a $5 tip from David Moore on this topic, who says, "Don't forget to vote for the Game Awards. They have a Best VR category, and maybe you want to vote for Saints and Sinners. Hint, hint." And I'm going to apply a wink there as well, because I think I know what he's going for.
So I got a couple thoughts on this.
Yes.
The first thought is that if you haven't bought this game already, it's probably because, you're low on funds. Like, why else wouldn't you have bought this game at launch? Because we told you how great it was for months now, and if you haven't bought it, then you're probably waiting for a good deal. And that's the only reason I would say stay away from the Tourist Edition, because it adds a little bit, and yes, we want to support the developers, but no, you want to save as much money as possible. And if you haven't bought it already, you're probably waiting for a deep sale. So that's what I by all means, I say get the cheap one. The other thing I want to say about that is if you haven't bought it already, well then look at the chat and somebody go get that as fast as possible.
Oh my goodness, guys, we got to. Oh wow, you better be fast on the draw. North American code for Saints and Sinners in the chat. Courtesy of Brian Paul. That's
So
sneaky.
I want it.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. To
Now-
whoever gets this, happy Thanksgiving.
Now, in the final caveat I have for all of this is I love North America. Very patriotic. I love my country and I love all the cats here. But I
loves
love
Europe.
everybody in Europe too. Go get it. Go, somebody get it.
Oh, we got another code.
Yes!
Oh my goodness. Whoa. All right, that's exciting stuff. But if you don't get one of those codes,
Then
buy it. Either
Please buy
edition,
it. Right.
whatever edition you like. Cheaper is better for a lot of people. But if you got the money, throw them a few extra bucks and get the deluxe.
And if you get it, please let us know that you got it so people can stop trying to get it.
Yeah, somebody claim it in the chat. If you got the code, please tell us because people will, keep trying for 20 minutes if you don't.
Now that being said, I was happy with the Tourist Edition after upgrading. I did like the weapons, even though they're kind of skins. This is a game where I do want to see a PS5 patch, though. This is a game that once I started playing on the PS5, I'm like, this could really use just a bump in resolution, a bump in some of the loading stuff. So I do hope to eventually see. I think it's totally looks great still the way it is. But this is one that I'm hoping to get a PS5 patch eventually.
Yeah. The loading times, so much better. So much better.
Loading
Like,
times are fast as hell.
cut down to like a third of what they were before. And like they're very infrequent, so it wasn't a big deal. But the fact is now it's not a big deal no matter how you look at it.
What I love too about these code giveaways is that people had to sit here for 2 hours and 53 minutes without even a whiff of a code.
Right. You
And
don't
then all of a
you
sudden
don't start the show with this nonsense.
The long haul people and the chat are the ones who are going to get it. So that's good.
All right. So the Saints Sinners guys, 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Big thumbs
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Doesn't matter which one you
talking
buy,
about-
just buy it, man.
Yeah,
You're gonna love it.
Yep. True. All right. Next
second
we
best
have
PSVR game. Second best.
second best, huh?
Yeah.
No, in the chat they already said you can't take it back. It's already on the list. It's number 1. No take backsies.
Okay. Number 1.
We've got Vacation Simulator for 1979.
How much does Job Sim cost? Because I feel like you could always just buy Job Sim.
Job
I don't
Sim
know.
launched at 30. I'm sure it's cheaper now.
Yeah.
But this, Job Sim felt like a $20 game, but it launched at 30. Vacation Sim felt like it had a little bit more content to it, but still, I was like, why isn't this $20? Because they know they could sell it for 30. Yeah, I like Vacation Sim.
I'm kind of middle of the road on this one. I like Vacation Sim, but it didn't do enough new stuff for me. Like, it added things, but it felt like, I don't know. I just wish they had innovated a little more on it.
Yeah,
I'm kind of middle of the road here.
I like the first third or half of it where it's you get to go and try a bunch of different things and it's a lot of cool different experiences and you get to go on little errands and stuff. But then it seems like to go and complete the game and to get all the tokens or whatever they call them that you need, it's suddenly very tedious, and I don't like any of
Kind
those
of
jobs.
peters out. Yeah,
Yeah.
peters out, I think, if you try to play it all the way through. And the other thing is, it's just not as funny as the first game to me. I just didn't laugh as much playing it. And that was a big part of why I liked the first one, was that sort of, and maybe it's because I work in an office job and it's sort of like specific humor for, certain people. But I don't know. Yeah, it just didn't resonate with me the same way. But the water physics are incredible. I fucking love the waterfalls. You can stand under the waterfall and splash it on your face. It's so nice.
Oh man, it was funny watching you stream it for the first time.
It's moving towards a thumbs up now that I think about that, but it's still middle.
Yeah,
You can still hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like. So this is the thing, guys. Real quick, I love games where you can slice off zombies' heads with katanas and blow them up with propane tanks, and slicing off arms and legs. I also like family-friendly games and happy-go-lucky games and stuff. I like this game a lot. I think it has a lot of some for somebody that has like ADD like myself. I think it has a lot of random activities, a lot of exploration to do, a lot of discovery. I like this series a lot more than I thought I would. And I think if you're looking for a family-friendly game, then this is an absolute yes. I like this game overall. I'm giving this a thumbs up.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad game to recommend. I just still think it's maybe a little too expensive, even on sale.
I'm with you. That's why I'm halfway here.
I think somebody's got to give it a thumbs up.
DOS Skywalker in the chat says, just redeemed the EU code. Awesome. Thanks a lot. Thank you for hanging out. Did anybody grab the NA code yet? Because we need to know that too.
Need to know.
Hell yeah.
If you think
DOS
you're gonna leave, then you
Skywalker.
better
But
say
congratulations,
so.
man. Happy Thanksgiving. Although I guess if you're in
Have
Europe, you
fun.
guys don't have Thanksgiving, which is fine. It's based on some weird
Give it back.
Columbus stuff.
Give it back to us right now.
Give what back?
The code. I was just
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying he wanted our colony back.
I don't know what's going on. What's the next game on sale?
Jim.
Oh, God,
All right.
yeah.
Finally, last game here, and it's a stinker. Wolfenstein Cyberpilot for $5.99.
Oh, you certainly didn't bury the lead on that one. Wow, big farts. Big farts. All
Actually,
right.
why did I smell? I could actually smell it. I was like, did tornado fart? Did I? You convinced my brain that someone was farting.
This game sucks.
Real quick.
It's so bad.
Real quick, we want to give a shout out to Adam with the Australian $2 donation saying, "Is linear pronounced linear?" Wow, this is an old.
This is an old. That's
How
a
do you
deep
remember
cut,
that?
dude.
Look,
right?
Adam,
Well, I remember it.
listen up here, Adam, you son of a bitch.
Listen up.
We have Lake Lanier here in
Yeah, but it's
Atlanta.
spelled
how's that
differently,
spelled?
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's spelled
It's
differently.
spelled differently, but I'm used to saying Lanier. And
Wow, that is so funny. It's like how.
Yeah.
It's for anyone not in the know. Once upon a time, AJ on a Gamescast called the game linear, and he said linear, and we didn't say anything. Dave and I just quietly
The
like
silent eye thing where we start laughing.
right, made eye contact through the stream, and we're like trying not to laugh, and then AJ's finally like, "What? What are you guys laughing about?" It's that dude, Adam. That is super. That's about as inside without pearl jokes as it gets. So thank you for that hilarious reminder. Also, shout out to Wonder Rob with a $5 donation saying, "My little sister Heather is a force of love, a nurse on the front lines, and a mom of my most beloved kid. She just drove to my house to give me denier."
Oh my God, that's so denier. Yes. Sorry, AJ. I'm so sorry.
I really don't care.
AJ fucking hates us now.
Stuff all the time. I've gotten better about it. And I now realize I have to be careful about everything I say because somebody might remember something a year from now
Yeah.
and come back and tell me.
You got to get like a little pronunciation book and just consult it before each show.
I need to be like, just as I'm talking, just Google it and have it like tell me like,
Dude, go on the
Linear.
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 Go, yeah, we heard it. Go on the Discord and go to the Ask Brian channel. And Patty over there decided to clip out a piece of my. Oh God, what was I streaming? It was it's a space game, Downward Spiral Horror Station. I was streaming that and playing it, and somebody asked about Albo because Albo had just gotten canceled at that point, and I went on like a 5-minute tear about how Albo was never going to be good. There was no chance in hell of that game ever coming out, and I went and basically Patty clipped the thing and was like, "Man, Brian, you were so wrong 2 years ago," and I was like, "God, just let it die, man."
We're constantly wrong. It's not just 2 years ago. We're
All
wrong
the
all the time.
Dude,
Yeah.
check out any E3 prediction episode we've ever done, and I'm horribly wrong, like embarrassingly wrong. Anyway,
And AJ, it's okay. It's not just you. I was watching a commercial for this drug. I can't remember what it was, but it said it may cause issues with your perineum. And I was like, I've never seen the word perineum listed on this TV screen. And my friend said, "Oh, it's perineum," and I was like, "It's not fucking perineum." I looked
Why
it up
do
and
I-
I showed him, and he was just arguing. And I was like, "It's perineum, my friend."
yeah.
Anyways, that's the space between your. Okay, you don't need to know, but
Yep.
Got
The gubernaculum.
yeah.
All right. Okay. So,
all right,
so
so-
let's finish this off. Dave, what are your thoughts
Final-
on
Final
Cyberpilot?
game. Cyberpilot is not a great game. It should have been much better for a Wolfenstein game. I was expecting something that I loved because I love Wolfenstein, and it didn't hit the vibe that I needed it to hit. That said, I mean, it's not the worst game in the world for what is it, $6 or something like that. Like, if you're really, really into the Wolfenstein franchise, like, you won't come away totally blown away by this game, but you might be like, okay, that was worth $5 or $6. That was fine. You know, a couple hours of being inside Wolfenstein in VR. And you get to roast some Nazis up, which is always kind of cool. But overall, as a game, I'd say not the most recommendable, but for cheap, I'd give it like a middle of the kind of a, if you like it, you know, if you're a Wolfenstein fan, give it a shot.
Only for this price. That's all I'm going to say. For this price,
that's
actually,
what I'd say.
My initial live stream, I hated this game during my initial live stream, but when I finally came around, gave it a chance, learned exactly what I was supposed to be doing with each of the mechs, I came around and I actually thought that some of the non-mech stuff were actually sitting in that chair going up to the different levels and putting things together. It's like, you know, they just wanted to give you that tangible way to experience like something a little bit different in the Wolfenstein world. And I kind of came around for $6. That's the most I would pay for this. Just know what you're getting into. But yeah, for $6, I'm actually going to say yes. And I think Paris looks beautiful. I think it's a really good looking game.
Yeah, we got. I think we got 2 thumbs up here, or at least a middle from me. It's like a middle, middle of the thumbs.
I must fight this. No, do not listen to them, unless you liked Mervils. And
I mean, a lot of people liked Mervils. Yeah, the more you say, the more positive we're going to get about it.
Right.
Believe me.
Holy crap, you guys!
Quite a show.
And so many awesome cats stuck it out with us tonight and hung out for the duration. You know, things get a little bit heated sometimes when we like talk about like our predictions, and you know, people want to tell us, you know, some people that they're wrong, or we got to tell people this or that. It's shit happens, man. You know, it's like we get really passionate. People in the chat are passionate. We're passionate about all this stuff, and we just get really excited when we talk about the thing that we love the most, and that's PlayStation VR. So want to make sure that everybody knows, you know, whether we agree with you or disagree with you, we love you, man, and like we want to thank you so much for being here, being part of our community, and disagreeing is 100% part of the little ride that we're on. So
except for if you're one of those guys who shows up and he's just like, PSVR is dead. My PC is so much better.
Yeah, that's not disagreeing.
Take him or leave him. Take him or leave him.
Just leave him, man. That's not disagreeing. That is just being. That's just what the internet calls a troll, and there's no need for that. Guys, thank you, thank you, all the cats out there, man. Thank you. Thanksgiving, man. We should be really thankful, right? What are you drinking?
A cheers to all you guys out there.
I am drinking, AJ. I don't drink very often, so cherish this moment.
But when I do
cherish this moment.
Terrapin High Five IPA.
Oh, I love Terrapin.
IPAs. Yeah, IPA's out of Georgia. This is from Athens, Georgia.
I've had that before. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, it's good. I love IPAs. That's like the only thing I will drink. Besides,
I'm so tired of IPAs, man.
Like whiskey or something.
Ooh, where's your whiskey at, AJ? Jesus, it's Thanksgiving. Come on.
I don't even have turkey, dog. You want me to have whiskey? I had a bagel.
I don't have turkey either.
Turkey dogs.
I'm probably gonna have a Caesar salad. So I don't know.
Oh man.
Again, hopefully everyone out there is having a safe, happy holiday. And if you didn't have anyone to celebrate it with, if COVID got in the way of your plans, then we're really happy that you got at least to celebrate with us. The 3 of us were in the exact same boat as you guys. It was, you know, very unceremonious Thanksgiving. I didn't get to see my family, didn't get to do that, but I was looking forward to this all day long. So I'm thrilled that I got to hang out with Dave and AJ and all the cats out there. And Genetic Blasphemy, of course, with the $5 donation, saying cheers at the very end. So thank you. And again, I like to always remember that our moderators are doing God's work out there, making sure the chat is not unruly and letting us do our jobs without too much interference. We appreciate them so very much. They don't get enough love. That's it, man. That's it. You guys got any final words?
Thanks.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
For PlayStation VR, for Brian, for Dave, for all of you amazing people in the chat who, make me enjoy my life.
Can only imagine.
Sorry. Pacer said IPA will put hair on your chest, and then Steve Irie comes back with put hair on your perineum.
Nice.
That is the best final comment, I think.
Nice. All right, guys. Yeah, no, thanks to everybody who hung out, and thanks to everybody who donated, of course. And of course, we always want to thank the people who just sat back, watched this, didn't type a word, didn't say a word. We know that you're out there watching, and we really appreciate you guys too. So for an awesome Thanksgiving episode, make sure you go subscribe to Dave at Dave Station VR. Thanks, and subscribe to AJ at PSVR Underground. My name's Brian Paul from this channel right here. And it's time to cue the fucking cat.
Let's go.
Gobble, 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 gobble. Go, guys on fist bump to you, genetic blasphemy hunter, the FNAF fan wonder, Rob Totten, the father mucking Gamecat.
You got it.
Gamer 13, the Diet Pepsi cat. Ipo Macanucci, PSVR for the win. I agree, brother. Meow, meow, the gamer cat. Just incredible, my dude. Sam Lowry, thank you for watching. Battlemone, Bainbridge, meow, RG, is Punch, Sean B, SB, lots of B's, some fat game cat says later sexy cats, Gabriel 004, the license to meow game cat, meow, 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 meow.
Hey, Welsh Boy
Meow,
UK.
meow,
Welsh
meow,
Boy
meow.
UK 76 says, I normally just sit back. Don't know what's wrong with me today. Thank you for not sitting back.
Steve IRE checking in from Ireland. Thank you so much, man. 9 lives, the game cat. Donatello, the scientist game cat. Toss me a ninja slice. Welsh boy, UK 76 was here from the beginning.
Hey, real quick, guys. If one of you guys got the NA code, fucking tell us, please.
Yeah, please.
Somebody had to get it by now. X Pacer X, thank you so much. Johnny No Pockets, aka the Who Dat Game Cat. Durant PSVR, the Game Cat, hello, thank you so much, man. Death Lee, the Death Cat, PSN, Death Lee 86. Adam on PSN, guys. Peter Oz, thank you so much. The High Ground, Game Cat 2.0, bye-bye. Hack the Game Cat, stay lit, brother Braxton B. Perfected Insanity, Silent Evil 999. Juvie the Kid, thank you. Decepticon,
God.
GG.
You give this guy one sip of an IPA and he's unhinged.
Let's fuck.
Is that it? Did we say goodbye to everybody?
I could tell goodbye.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. And like, I don't think this would have been as good a day without
So much better
doing this
than
for you guys, you know? So,
Absolutely.
better than hanging out with your family. I had to do that too, but just virtually. Anyways, that's